He is going to drop the throw. Fires deep along the right sideline for Alec Pierce. He's got it! Touchdown! Touchdown! Alec Pierce spikes it into the end zone. Touchdown! I-N-D-Y! A 32-yard grab over the shoulder snag.
I cannot wait to change that after tomorrow.
It's officially time to get some new highlights, everybody.
So tired of seeing Matt Ryan. How's everybody doing? Hey, we have everybody for the first time in, I don't know, a month, 2 months.
Least, yeah.
Even I'm back. Hey, me and Trev, guest stars tonight. Yeah, how's everybody doing, man?
We're here, baby. We're back. Football's back. Let's get it.
Game day tomorrow. Game day
Finally.
tomorrow. Man.
In a long minute.
Got this Bama Texas game on my phone right now.
Yep,
It's quite an exciting time.
Y'all know I got the Gators whooping McNeese State.
Man, see, that's why I can't be like college fan, like have a team. Because if I was a Florida fan today, I wouldn't even waste my time watching that game.
No, you would if you would have watched us play against Utah last week.
You just need a win. Yeah,
you need a win.
That's how I feel as a LSU fan.
Yeah,
but isn't Utah ranked?
Yeah,
they're
a good team.
But
So
they
Mertz
just got spanked by unranked Baylor today.
Yeah, but
No, they won, dog.
Yeah, they won that game.
They won. Walk off
Well,
TV.
even still, if we would have played that team last week, we would have won. You just want to win. Like
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Who was it?
Every given Saturday.
Ohio State played Youngstown State. It was an absolute massacre.
Yeah,
Georgia played. I don't even know who Georgia played, but it took them
Ball
to like
State,
the
the
second.
Fighting Cardinals, Muncie, Indiana.
Ball State, the second quarter. Then they finally take off, and it was a massacre. This is that week where you beat up on somebody's little brother.
yeah.
That was supposed to be last week, but it looked like little brother beat up on big brother.
Just don't do it in
Yeah,
the
that's
SEC
exactly
where,
what
like, week 8, they randomly play, like, Division 1 AA Southeast Ohio that no team's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like Bishop
William-
Sycamore out there.
William and Mary. All right.
Yeah.
I
Playing
remember-
future
I remember
doctors and lawyers.
I remember choosing them in like NCAA 05. Like, I'm gonna be this team and see if I can make them national champs. It takes you 12 seasons just to get ranked
Yeah.
25th, and you went undefeated every year.
Yeah. So just
I had a
mids,
dynasty back in my PS2 days. I had a UTEP dynasty where, like, it took me 23 years to have before I won a national title. And I was all like, man, this
You were
is nuts.
committed.
You chose what, like you like University of Connecticut or something? Like,
I mean, it was literally like I only recruited like 2 stars just to make it hard.
University of
like, all
Hawaii.
right. 2 stars only. And like
I think University
took
of
me
Hawaii
forever.
would only take a few seasons if you did it in NCAA video game. To be completely honest. Oh,
We're
man.
all the way back, boys. Freaking week 1 starts tomorrow. Well, it's already started actually, but for us starts tomorrow.
Hey, let's
Playing
go,
the
Christina, who is
mighty Jacksonville Jaguars.
Let's go ahead and talk about that. How did we all pick the Chiefs and then they lose, man?
Ugly game for them.
Yeah.
Ugly game. Kadarius Toney might have had one of the worst games as a skill position player in a while, dude.
Yeah, it was, the lowest ranking grade since like 2014 or something like that.
Yeah, that's
on
rough.
PFF.
Made him
For some
delete his
reason,
Twitter.
dude was trying to catch balls thrown behind him with his arms over his shoulders. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, turn
Yeah,
around and put your hands in front of the ball.
Did
it's
not
like if
look
you
good.
turned on the film and watched Travis Kelce make that catch 9 million times, you would always see him going just like this to catch that pass. Like I've seen it so many times, and it was just like we're catching like we're in middle school.
Yeah, he turned like this backwards, like looked like me when I was like 5.
Yeah, and it's like you're having a rough day when the ball is hitting your hands right here, and it ends up a pick six.
Yeah.
Hey, that-
You know you guys are just having it rough at that point.
And there
To
was
a
a guy.
rookie,
There was a guy who played for who was it today? I think it was Utah today who missed a pick that touched him in the hands like that. Literally dropped it. It was like the slowest throw to the outside too, bro. It was like a 5-yard out, and that ball took 10 years to get there. This boy had jumped the route and dropped it. I was like, "Oh my, you idiot!"
You just tuck
like
that
that
in,
Ephus
dude.
pitch.
Yeah.
It's like that Ephus pitch in baseball. It's just a hanging fruit. You
Ephus.
see it, you get excited, It's there. You get
And then it's
juiced.
gone.
And you swing
see
too
your
early.
name in the lights, and you miss. Yes.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Facts. That's funny.
So yeah, that was a Thursday night. Personally, I need Florida to whoop up on somebody, get a W. There was some other pretty good games today. Miami and Texas A&M was a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
Miami went off on Texas A&M. Miami looked like they're getting back to those prideful ways. They looked tough. They were playing hard. Their defense was coming to hit people in the mouth, and they looked like they gave Jimbo's team all he could handle.
Shout out to Coach Prime's Colorado Buffs, now 2-0 on the year.
Absolutely. All the haters
One of the
are
most
absolutely
entertaining
pissed off.
teams.
Next.
All the haters
Next.
are absolutely pissed off.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though. Those guys are fun to watch, man. I'm not a Colorado fan by any means, but Travis Hunter's a freak. Shador Sanders looks like a freak. That's a fun team to watch.
So who they play today again?
Nebraska.
Okay.
Sorry, Pops.
Matt Rule's Nebraska. Not quite all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody was screaming bench their quarterback, and then they had it's pretty much all they had. And then they had Brock Purdy's little brother come in there, and he did not look any better. So
Out there looking like Kadarius Toney played quarterback, man, just dropping it everywhere.
yeah,
Not everybody can be Brock Purdy. Not everybody can be Brock Purdy.
I just want to
not
know
it.
why his mom and dad is Chubba his real name, or is that a nickname that he goes by?
Who?
Brock Purdy's brother. His name is
I don't know
Chubba.
shit about his brother.
Chubba
Is that a
Purdy.
thing?
I don't
Dude,
know.
I mean,
Maybe he was
had to-
named
he
after
had to
his
play
dad.
football. He had to play football. He can't do shit else with a name like that.
I mean, Oklahoma's got arguably the best quarterback name in the country, General
General
Booty.
Booty.
But
I want to play for that guy.
but Chubba might be up there, man.
Yeah,
Might be
that's-
up there with one of the
that's an
best names in
interesting one.
college football.
Oh my God, you guys are fucking hilarious. Hey, so let's get
There we go,
what's up?
Chad.
Hey,
973
20
friends.
27 more.
It's
Yes,
crazy,
sir.
bro.
We are
You know what-
almost
you know
there to
what-
1K, and we also
what's
are
insane?
over. I want to say 1,100. We're kicking with the crew on Twitter. So
Hell
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure on Facebook, Kicking with the Crew has like 1,500, 1,600 followers.
Yep.
We're up there. I'm actually think we're closer to 2K if I remember correctly. And not everyone is in the group. Like a lot
Gotta
of them,
get 'em.
like that's wild. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, and here's the thing: we've had our group for 3 years,
Couple
4
years,
years,
yeah.
Four.
4
Going on
years
four.
now?
Four
going
seasons.
on 4 seasons, and we haven't even hit 1K yet, man.
Hey, we getting there, baby.
Oh,
'Cause
we're
I
at
keep it small.
993, not 973.
The
I
rise
keep it
continues.
answer the questions. I'm sorry. That's all me. If they don't answer the questions, I don't put them in because I don't trust them because people are fakes.
Yeah, I
man.
mean, I'm not trying to get like a 13. You ever been in one of those
What
cult
question?
groups that have like 13,000 fans, dude, or
Yeah.
members? It's ridiculous. And all
those
of
are the
them,
ones
all
that I
they do
share
is
to every
cry.
day.
Yeah,
Those are the ones I
exactly.
share to.
Yeah,
Why
I
isn't
mean,
Gardner
yeah,
Minshew
share
starting
this.
week one?
Share this, but our for the shoe like group, like we're good at the
Yeah.
low numbers, like,
Low numbers, but like good interaction.
We've had
Right.
quite a splurge the last few weeks. A lot of
because it's about to be football season. Football season kicking off. It's normally the time of year most people start joining,
They know where
And
the
they
real
get,
coach knowledge is at.
and then about 75% of the ones that join in preseason get kicked out by week 10.
For bitching.
Yeah.
We don't
For
play
real.
those games. We don't play those games in for the shoe. We will. You start attacking people, you're getting kicked out real quick.
About every year we get rid of about 25 people. We're like, this guy can go, she can go, he can go,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can go, get gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Keeping it positive over here, baby.
Yeah, because people get crazy. Like we don't mind the debates and the talking, but like last year, bro, we had some bad
Yeah.
altercations in our group, man.
You guys want to fight over shit. It's like, I know it's a bad
You know,
year,
yeah.
but
and look exactly. And looking back on it, not the best year. I'm sure there's some emotions and tempers flared, but looking back on it now, it is kind of funny, bro.
Yeah, dude. At the same time that I'm messaging people that were causing issues, I was laughing at what they were saying to each other. Like, It's
y'all,
funny,
y'all
but-
are creative, bro.
But y'all are funny, but read the goddamn rules.
yeah.
Because I remember about like week 4 or 5, they were like, Brissett would have been the best option for us at this point. They were turning it back to like 2018, 2019, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
We're a little past that, bro.
I think any of us would take anybody but Matt Ryan right now, boss.
Yeah.
No facts.
Shout out JJ Dawson, man. We're excited for the game tomorrow, bro. Hopefully we can take down these Jags, man. Shut
Bro,
them up a little bit.
I'm pretty sure by this time last year, I was already calling for Frank to be fired.
I mean, you had been for like 3 years, dude. Like, I
was
don't
on
know
the
if
ballot.
anyone hated
I
Frank
was on
more
the
than
ballot.
you.
Hey, guess what? The Panthers fans aren't far behind that already.
No, I know.
Already.
I know.
That's rough. That's rough. Hey,
Since
listen,
I haven't been on social media, I've read a lot of ESPN, and trust me, Panthers are not happy right now.
They just don't like the play calling, man. Like that's their biggest
they ain't even
gripe.
seen it yet.
And that's what I said.
told them. That's what I told them. I said,
Like, guys, it's not even good yet. Wait
Yeah,
until wait until he just stops doing what he's been doing successful at all day.
No, wait until you have a really good quarter and you're like, oh yeah, keep feeding this guy, and then for the next 3
cooking.
quarters you don't see the guy touch the ball.
Or
Oh,
you have
yeah.
a really good week in practice and still lose. Like,
no, my
You got
favorite,
1% better every day.
My favorite is when the scheme was working, like the passing, the running, everything was working, and then somehow in the second quarter it just doesn't work anymore. Like,
What happened?
just don't
What
call
happened
it.
between
starts
then and
calling
now?
different plays. I'm like,
Just-
bro, what are you doing? Like,
just
the
wait
plays are
until the defense adjusts and then do nothing. Like,
Nick Watson, we ain't gonna bring up old memories, man. Last year was a little bit of everybody.
It was everybody.
Our O line certainly did
Yeah,
stink.
It
man.
wasn't
Hopefully
all
it's
Matt
much
Ryan's
better.
fault, but he didn't benefit his situation by any means.
It didn't help when you get sacked and
I
you
mean,
fumble it 90% of
yeah.
the time. So
It was rough
you
all
throw-
around, brother.
you throw left-handed interceptions, Carson. I mean, come on.
My favorite
takes
play of
talent,
all last
baby.
Being
season.
for real, Nick.
Do y'all remember against Dallas whenever Alec Pierce got wide open down the field and Matt Ryan gave it every bit of arm he had left and that ball went 28 yards.
Yeah, I remember that. 'Cause
28 yards.
You hit
That's
the
all he
face
had,
palm
man.
emoji in the group.
That's all he had left, bro.
I literally asked anybody, did y'all just see that? They're like, what? And I'm like, that ball went 28 yards and he elwayed it. Like,
Yeah, full body, everything he had, shot putting it, and it's going nowhere. It's time to hit that broadcast stage, man.
yeah.
Hey,
oh, good time.
he's
And
not
we're still
mad.
paying him.
he's still getting $17 million from Indy this year.
Yep.
His
Yeah.
agents are go.
Yeah, he
go,
ain't worried
man.
about nothing, man. He's gonna go chill with that headset on and make our money. Good for him, bro. I mean, what can you say? We fucked up.
Hey, all right. So Chad said it. Can we revisit our week 1 predictions? I don't know about revisit, but we're going to go ahead and do locks. So we talked about the segment being each person picks one team.
Predictions.
I don't know what he's talking about. But we said we were going to do one team lock for every person. So who you got, DeMarco? Who's your lock for tomorrow? Who's the definite win?
Definite win. Let me check this out real quick because I ain't even.
Dang, man, I told y'all like 4 days ago. Unprepared. All right.
We've been watching
Zach.
football.
Slept since then, man.
Man. This one should be
Slept
easy,
since
in
then.
my opinion. This week is the easiest one to have a lock.
I had KC as a lock, and they got whipped. So
No, not that one. Not that one. That one was not the
Well,
easy
so
one.
for me, that was not a lock.
No, there is one lock. If you look at the schedules, it's literally the easiest lock that could
Oh,
be.
we should probably go with the funniest lock. It should be Frank Wright losing on week 1.
Nah.
I mean, that's probably a safe bet.
That's a pretty gimme right there. But my lock for week 1 is probably going to be the Houston Texans losing to the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
My lock for week 1.
Yeah, that's a gimme right there.
That is my lock.
my lock for week 1 is the Commanders beat the Cardinals.
I'm with you on that one. That was
That's-
mine. I'm
that's a
sticking
good
with
one,
that
too.
one. Yep.
Mine's Vikings beating the Buccaneers, who I think are going to be the second worst team in football this year.
Yeah, I actually agree, man. I don't have any faith in the Buccaneers whatsoever, dude. Like people have been talking about the Cardinals and us and like other bad teams, but the Bucs are right down there with us, man. I don't see anything good for them.
Christina was asking, is she the only one that picked the Lions? No, you were just the only one a part of this show that did not pick the Lions.
Yeah.
So
I have another.
a lot of people picked the Lions, but we did not. We thought Kansas City would do what Kansas City does, and obviously the receiving core let us down.
I have
Dude,
another
my-
lock.
Hey,
If
Damon,
we
you
all-
had who? Bucks?
I had Vikings
Vikings
over
over
Bucks.
Bucks.
Bucks losing.
Vikings.
Bucks losing.
Vikings
Yep. Vikings beating
over
Bucks.
Bucks. And then Trev.
Yeah, my week 1 lock might be a surprise, but I got the Seahawks. I ain't gonna say steamrolling, but handily beating the Rams. I don't think they have anybody that can cover that wide receiver core.
I saw somebody
I
make a
think they get lit
prediction
up.
and they actually picked the Rams to win that game, and
I don't see it at all, bro.
I don't
Especially
see-
without Cup,
I
I
did.
don't see anything. How?
I did.
How?
I did.
I don't.
I
have
don't
it.
know.
I-
I don't know. I'm
Come-
pretty
come-
sure it was me. I'm pretty sure I got the Rams beating Seattle.
Come tomorrow, if they get rolled, man. I'll eat it, but I just don't
I
see
may-
it, bro.
I
I
may
think
have to go-
DK goes off, Tyler Lockett goes off. I think they have a big day.
I'm gonna look because I'm pretty sure when I did my predictions, that was one game that I looked at twice. And I was like,
Rams are another team too. They're one of the youngest teams next to us, and I feel like they don't have anybody aside from their handful of stars who are all like ancient in football years.
hey, is our pick'ems on ESPN?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to be different, because I don't like doing the same team as Matt, Cardinals and Commanders. I think it's guaranteed, bona fide, going to happen that the Jets beat the Buffalo Bills on Monday night.
Ooh, that is spicy.
guaranteeing that.
I don't have a guarantee there
Guaranteeing
at
that.
all. I have a good game there. I don't have a guarantee of anything.
I think
Yeah, I don't think that's a lock anywhere.
two reasons why it's a lock. One reason, NFL is scripted. Second reason being Aaron Rodgers is hungry, and I think that he's going to go and prove something.
If the NFL is scripted, Kadarius Toney is ready to commit suicide like 2 weeks.
I'm the one who picked the Rams, just so y'all know. I am the one who picked the Rams.
That's fair.
Have
That's
faith.
fair.
So
You
we
have
can't see
not.
it. You're not supposed to tell it because somebody can copy your picks. So that's why it's.
Why does that
hidden to
matter?
us.
I mean, if y'all want to pick it, I'll pick it. I don't care.
No, because
Copy
there's some
me.
people. There's some people that predict like 100% correctly. So if other people can see it, you're just.
I'm
gonna
0
copy
for
it.
1. All right, so if y'all want to pick with me, then pick with me.
Yeah, Damon ain't even
We'll go
picking
down
yet.
together.
Real quick here, Nick says, "Do you feel Travis Kelce being out really hurt KC is definitely
Oh, absolutely.
They lost by 1 point.
Actually,
They lost by
I
1
personally,
point. I think it hurt.
I
them.
personally don't think it hurt him. It was the drops that hurt him. So it's like,
Yeah, but I mean, with
if
the
you-
Travis
if you look
Kelce,
at-
you're going to have less of those drops, and that 1 point
I
difference
mean,
could have been
Travis Kelce had those drops when they played the Colts last year, and we ended up beating them. While
I
Travis
mean,
Kelce,
valid, but I'm
he had a
saying
couple of those drops. So I'm
But-
just saying, like, if receivers, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. It wasn't like they were locked up in coverage. These were wide open drops.
yeah.
These are just miscues by their offense. Like, I don't think if any offense was, if it was a different offense, are you thinking, hey, because they didn't have this player, you'd be thinking, no, your dudes just need to catch the fucking ball.
yeah,
bro.
but if you're thinking of a guy like Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the NFL, I'm thinking he's a 1 point difference in a game.
Yeah, and it's easy. It's easy to, and that's
We
what I'm
can-
saying. Like, not even in literal terms, just him opening up the field for other opportunities for other players.
Well, okay, now at that point, no, because like DeMarco said, those
These
guys,
guys
were
were
open
wide
drops.
open, like, open
yeah, but
drops.
I'm saying,
I'm
like,
saying, like,
regardless of that, it's still opening up the
I'm-
field.
I'm thinking about the difference of like what Matt is saying here. Like, if you put Travis Kelce in those positions where those 3 drops were, those were 3 key drops that literally pretty much changed the game. If that's Travis Kelce, you obviously don't get 3 of them.
Yeah,
And
I'm
so
not betting
I
that
kinda
he drops
get that,
all 3.
but I'm just like, at the same time, I'm thinking when you paying guys millions of dollars, I don't
gotta catch
expect
it,
your
yeah.
best
No.
receiver. Like, he's supposed to be their best receiver, not tight end, not overall pass catcher. But this is your best receiver dropping the passes like that, and he obviously missed a lot of summer. But it's like you expect a guy to make those
Yeah.
catches. Like, that's just like I it's like I think without the pick 6, KC wins that game. So it's like
As bad as they looked,
so
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Even without Kelce, I don't think it totally hurt them. I just think, dudes
Yeah,
gotta catch the ball. I think you just gave Detroit the window. I think that's what it was.
I would say no in the sense of like they should have won regardless, and they just completely kept shooting themselves in the foot. But yeah, I mean, if Kelsey's out there, he's going to do Kelsey things. They probably freaking pull it off, but they should have won regardless. Like, no asterisk, that bullshit that Mike Tirico is saying. They should have won, and they played themselves. So congrats
People was
to the
giving
Lions.
him
Like, you
so
get a
much
win.
slander for saying
Yeah,
that.
Oh my
yeah. I mean,
goodness.
that's a bullshit comment, man. Like, there's gonna be players missing every week. You can't start saying wins don't count or you need asterisks and shit. Like, at the end of the day, Lions are 1-0, so that's what it is.
At the end of the day, the Chiefs are probably going to go 13-3 the
Yeah,
rest of the way
like-
out.
It'll buff.
It'll buff out for them. They'll still make the playoffs. They'll probably still win their division.
Yeah.
And Nick Watson, I want to know why everybody thinks the Jets are going to be so amazing this year.
It's the names on the jerseys.
I just want to know. I mean, I get it. They got a really good defense, and I really like Quentin Williams. But at the same time, man, Aaron Rodgers looks like a damn zombie for one. And like, why? Because he threw a touchdown pass in his preseason game.
So my thing on them is like, I think they'll be good. I think amazing is a jump. The biggest thing is like, even if Rodgers is just like average, like or below average, even anything he does is going to be an improvement from what they had at QB last year. So ideally, they should be back because they're just outside the playoffs last year. So they should be in that realm. But I mean,
they're still third best in their division.
Yeah, I think I agree too.
Sounds like Nick is a Rodgers fan.
How is Rodgers a leader? I mean, the dude, all he does is nitpick and complain about his receivers and teammates. Like, he's not a leader at all.
That's one thing I'm about to agree with you. I'm about to agree with you there, Matt. I mean, that guy's been proven to be locker room cancer. You know what I mean?
He's the total opposite of a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my thing was I honestly thought the Jets were just going to be like kind of floating the waters, look just like Green Bay last year. They make the playoffs because their defense. I think their defense is better than what
their defense is
good. But Matt has said it before that they pretty much have the same offense as what Rodgers had in Green Bay. Although they did go 13-4 a couple years in a row. This is not the NFC, so you won't have 13 wins. So I thought the Jets might go like 10-7, losing the first round.
Yeah, that's right.
From what I saw in the preseason, though, I think this offense will be above average, which is what they'll need. And so instead of a first round exit, I got them as a second round exit.
But here's
one more week.
But hold on. Now, if you really look at it, right? Their offense is above average. I never said they weren't. With Aaron Rodgers, they're a lot better than they are with Zach Wilson. Agree to that. But being just above average does not make you an above average team in the AFC.
Yeah.
You're competing in a conference where there are teams that are just below great, and you have probably at least one of them in your division that you're going to have to face twice a year.
We're gonna see one really good quarterback not make the playoffs. It's gonna be really good.
That is fact.
Like one really good quarterback is not going to make the playoffs.
My bet is Baltimore.
Josh Allen.
Well, I got Baltimore making it.
I mean, I could see Josh Allen too. I could see either Baltimore or Buffalo. I honestly think
Buffalo's going to fall way off. I said it all year.
I don't see that.
They're due for a new coach.
Team.
I think that they've reached their potential with the head coach.
Dude,
and they don't have a defensive coordinator.
Hate McDermott. Bills
fans.
Is
that a thing?
Dude, they do not like McDermott at all.
Why? Because they win every year and they want to go back to what they're used to. I don't
even.
He's a good coach, man.
Yeah.
I just look at it like
what
like
kind
Rivera.
of lucky play?
It's like,
oh my god,
like Ron Rivera.
Yeah, you see that Bama touchdown,
dude. That quarterback
plays his cores. So that's where I think the Bills have maxed out their potential with this roster. More specifically, the coaching staff. I think a new voice is needed. That's literally what I think the reason why they take a step back. You have McDermott, who's going to be defensive coordinator and head coach. That's a lot.
But
let me just pick your brain though.
And offensively, they lost Dayball. Whoever's Ken Dorsey, my guy from the U, he's not nearly as good as Dayball is as an offensive coordinator. And the offense and Allen struggled last year.
But they were still a top team. You know what I'm saying? Like they were worse. They took
the
step
defense
back,
was
like
still good.
Said.
I think the defense is a year older and won't be as good. That's why I think they take a step back.
I'm saying Baltimore misses the playoffs, and the reason I'm saying it's not because of Lamar, because that team around Lamar is not that good. They're okay. They're okay. They're overhyping OBJ that was overhyped in Cleveland too.
He already has a sprained ankle too.
Right, but it's not even just because of Baltimore. But you still have Cincinnati, and I still believe in Mike Tomlin, and I think Pittsburgh takes a step forward.
I agree with that. I think Pittsburgh will be better this year.
Yeah, I don't think Baltimore declines at all. I just don't think teams make it out of the AFC North.
Sure,
there with you.
What's name? I don't. I don't think the Bills take a step back. I think they'll just kind of keep doing what they're doing. I think it'll almost be at that point of when we were like
Exactly.
have our really good years with Peyton Manning and the Colts.
And never
We
winning
made the
shit.
change over from coach, and then
Yeah.
we go on to
But
win
they're
a Super
in it
Bowl.
every year.
And so I don't think they take a step back. I think they just get stagnant as far as just coasting along through the regular season and having troubles through the playoffs. And so
Now
I don't-
here's a good question then. Do we think Josh Allen has already peaked?
I do not.
No.
I think
No.
he has so much more because just imagine what Josh Allen can do when if he gets his interceptions down, and then he also stays healthy. I think that's something that has to be said about them. And then think about what they went through last year. That took a lot out of them, and they still were there. Obviously, you don't like to be like a Super Bowl favorite and then get your butt kicked by the Bengals, but I think when you bounce back from that, I personally don't like McDermott taking over the defense and having head coaching duties after what they went through last season. I think that was something that they should have worked out better. But I don't see them really falling off.
My sleeper team taking over the league this year was Detroit. I like Dan Campbell. If I have to pick a team in the AFC, picking the Jaguars because I think they can ascend to that Kansas City type level good.
I'm almost ready to log off.
Their
Ready to log off.
Their offense is kind of like
offensively they are KC, man. Like
yeah,
they're that good.
No, in my opinion, their offense is built better than KC.
The
biggest difference is Patrick Mahomes is in KC, but
they have better. All Colts fans to know this is making me nauseous.
They have better skill.
I'm just trying to be honest, man.
Yeah, look, I'll give them props after they beat us tomorrow. All right.
The only concerns that you should really have about them offensively is their tackles are different than they were last year. So I just want to see how that affects their passing game because against us, Trevor Lawrence picked us apart both games, even if we won the second one. So I just want to see how much pressure we can get. To me, the game tomorrow comes down to the edges and what our guys can do on the edges and getting pressure on Trevor Lawrence. If we don't get pressure on Trevor Lawrence, we're done. We're losing that game.
Yeah, he just sits there and picks you apart, man. He'll take whoever's open. He's not always looking for that big shot downfield. He'll just take the easy ones. And before you know it, he's 22 of 26 for 250 yards. And it's like,
he went 22 for 26, had 4 sacks, and we still won.
See my name, Gus.
I'm not
he had over 110 QBR in both games. So
he lost one of them, so I don't give a damn. I will not believe you will not catch me believing in the Jaguars until they do exactly what I said they were going to do. I said they were going to go 9-8 again, and they were going to be the same goddamn team. I don't believe in them. Calvin really ain't played football in almost 2 years. He even runs backwards a lot of the time when he catches the ball. You can go watch his Atlanta highlights. I'm not fearful of anything about this team. And like Matt said, they got 2 new tackles. We've already gotten plenty of pressure on this team. They can beat us if they want to. I still got them going 9-8. So until they show me that they're going to be a 10, 11, 12 plus win team for multiple years, I'm not jumping on no goddamn bandwagon over there. Like it's just insane to me. Like
I wasn't agreeing. I wasn't agreeing with them being a sleeper at all.
I think they're a sleeper just because I think they're disrespected defensively and offensively.
I don't even see how you can say they're a sleeper. They get talked about on media every day.
Yeah.
People got them predicted to go get 14 wins and make the AFC Championship. That is not a sleeper.
NFL Network
division.
NFL Network.
I think they're a sleeper.
NFL Network said that they are the team that has to worry the least in the NFL.
I mean, but that's just because the division sucks. Yeah,
the division.
It's the same as the Saints. It's the same as the Saints, but we're not saying the Saints are going 14-3.
Right. If they end up playing a team like Kansas City tough, people are gonna be like, "Damn, Jacksonville's a sleeper." That's why I picked them to be a sleeper.
They also played the Tennessee Titans tough when they were on their third string quarterback and had 70 players injured. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that team. I hate the hype on the Jaguars.
And they lost to Matt Ryan. Just saying.
Exactly, bro. My sleepers. I'm gonna just tell you my sleepers because I'm sweating and getting hot over here.
Oh yeah, everyone's gonna say they're sleepers. So go ahead.
I just don't believe in the Jaguars, but my sleepers are going to be the Cleveland Browns, and the New Orleans Saints. Those are
Dude,
my two sleepers.
Those are mine too.
Those are my two
legit
sleepers for the
sleepers.
NFC and the AFC. I think the Saints have a pretty good team as long as Derek Carr doesn't do some of the dumb stuff that he did in Vegas. Other than that, I think their defense is solid. The O-line has a little bit of questions. They just paid a guard, so I think Derek Carr should be protected up the middle. They got plenty of weapons over there, especially if Slant Boy can get back to his game. Michael Thomas over there. Shout out to him. I drafted him late in my fantasy because I saw him there in like the 10th round. So I was like,
so many slants, baby.
Alvin Kamara will be coming back. They look pretty good in the preseason. I'm not a big fan of their head coach, but I think they'll be solid over there. Their division is not too strong. And the AFC side, the Cleveland Browns, this is all going to depend upon their defense and Deshaun Watson. I think everything else they got there is money. Deshaun Watson just has to, play like a mid-tier quarterback, and then they added Zadarius Smith to go along with that boy over there to rush the passer, Myles Garrett, and I think they could be a sleeper as well. So those are my sleepers.
Damon, go ahead.
No, I got the exact same two teams. I mean, the Saints are playing in the worst of it. If they say the AFC South is the worst division in football, I think the NFC South
might be
is
worse.
the absolute worst division of football. I also have the Browns because, let's be real. I think they have a great roster. But here's the thing about the Browns. It's crazy to think about. If Deshaun Watson plays below average, we are now going into 3 years of this guy playing below average with one of the league's largest contracts and a backup that looks serviceable is the word I'm going to use.
DTR?
Dorian Thompson looks real good.
Yeah, serviceable. I'm going to use serviceable. It's preseason, so I'm going to say serviceable.
It's the preseason. It's the preseason.
Exactly.
Damon used the right word. Let's relax.
Serviceable. But think about that, right? Like, and I don't want to get into this because we're a Colts show, but think about them going into a possible year 3 of a $260 million contract with a quarterback playing below average and a solid backup behind him.
You guys who's out playing him. Yeah,
they talked about that big time on like some like ESPN saying, "Hey, we paid this. What was it? Somebody said, should he be a top tier quarterback? And somebody was saying, no, it's going to take him a little bit of time. And it's like, well, we didn't pay you $260 million to take a little bit of time.
100%, bro.
So
it's time to step up or get the fuck out.
But I think the Saints have it. I think the Saints have a lot of potential, bro. On offense, especially. Oh man,
it should be an interesting team, especially because they can just roll that fucking division. Mine might be a surprise, but I'm gonna go with the Washington Commanders. I actually like that defense a lot. I like their young team.
Okay, hold on.
The one game we saw from Sam Howell, he looked sharp. So I think the big question mark is, can Sam Howell consistently deliver for them? Because if so, they have the chance to be a really good team.
I just want to ask because the sleeper question, when I said sleepers, I meant the Browns and Saints could sleep their way to the Super Bowl. When you say Commanders,
playoffs. I don't see them a Super Bowl team. No. Yeah, this is just a team that's like going to exceed expectations.
He's only asking about surprise the league this year, not like go to the Super Bowl.
Dominate. And then for the
I think it would surprise the league for the Saints or the Browns, but I think they can actually get all the way.
You can see a path.
That's why I wanted to clarify because mine was different than how
my only argument with the Saints making the Super Bowl is who their quarterback is.
It'd be on the defense to carry, and then he's just got to not fuck it up. And then for the AFC too, real quick.
Let Trev finish his.
Yeah, for the AFC, we brought up the Steelers, but fucking, I have them as a sleeper as well, man. I think they take a big leap forward. I think George Pickens is about to be a superstar. So, but again, like the question mark is the young quarterback, right? Like if he can consistently deliver, which he started to really progress over the last year. So I don't know. I like the Steelers. I think that's a competitive division. Well, I don't like them, but I like them being a sleeper team here. So that's mine.
Also named the captain.
Mine are Seahawks.
Oh, that's another
Geno. The crazy thing is I picked against them for week 1. I know I picked against them for week 1, but they're still my sleeper team. I love Geno Smith. The guy is. I think he found his home in Seattle.
Yeah.
And mine is also the Steelers.
In every league,
dude. and they quietly have what might be the best wide receiver core. It might maybe receiving core overall in the league, dude. You talk about DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Jigba. And then Noah Fant, like that's a tough receiving core, bro.
Yeah, and then Steelers, man. I got Steelers. It's Mike Tomlin. I can never bet against Mike Tomlin. Dude still has yet to have a losing season. And then Kenny Pickett, man, he's making that dude move forward. The last 2 seasons. So, and I just think he's going to take another step. I don't see them making a Super Bowl run. No, but I do see them making a run for their division.
Yeah, making it competitive. I have them as like a 10-win team.
Me too. Me too.
The crazy thing is, you
I
can
have
make the Steelers sleep every year, and Mike Tomlin's still's going to have a winning record because people just sleep on them all the time.
I know.
I didn't do NFC sleeper team because I thought we were just doing one. But if we're doing NFC, I'm going NFC South, but I'm picking the Carolina Panthers.
Oh God,
why? Why? That defense is
Mute Zach. Thank you.
loaded.
Matt, I was literally about to tell you to mute Zach. Dude, that's hilarious. We were all on the same page.
That
We were
defense
all
is loaded.
I think Zach just came in hot to make me leave tonight.
Hey, Zach took a can and went.
Just say you miss Frank Reich, bro. It's all right.
You
You miss
is
him.
Bryce Young not to mess it up, and I think they're a legitimate playoff team. Do I think
How
they're
have you not watched
No.
their offensive line,
bro? Yes, but at the same time, Bryce Young, I think as long as he can do a little bit of Mahomesism, I think they're okay. Because
That's a lot to ask from a rookie, though.
Mahomes got destroyed in the Super Bowl when he didn't have an offensive line.
I don't disagree with you, DeMarco, but I think
But
that
he
they're
still
a
made the
playoff-
Super Bowl.
Right. They're a
Yeah,
playoff
but that was
team.
after the tackles got hurt.
Carolina
I
won't have to
don't
worry
think they
about
could
that,
win
though.
it.
Dude,
I don't think they can win it early. But I do
huge-
think that defense is legit good enough to get them into the playoffs in a weak NFC, in a weak NFC South. The only competition they have to deal with is New Orleans.
Well, the
That's
issue
it.
for them defensively too,
I think
though,
it
is
needs
this
to go
whole
get another
contract
shot.
dispute around
They
Brian
have
Burns
competition.
now.
They have competition where they have to worry about Frank beating himself.
I promise you, if I see the Jags and the Panthers in the Super Bowl because of Zach, I'm gonna lose it. I'm
Done.
gonna lose it.
Done.
These are just two teams that I'm like, hey, man, they're projecting up, trending up.
I don't even know if I would
No.
watch that Super Bowl, man. I would. That's
Hey
probably
Zach,
would.
the Colts are trending up, but you still think we're gonna be bad, man? Come on.
I think we're going to be terrible because our
Yeah.
offensive line. And I want Marvin Harrison Jr. That's why I
our
think we're
offensive
trash.
line is better than the Panthers.
Yeah, I
Our
don't.
What the
offensive line-
hell?
I think our offensive line is going to be a lot better, man.
Our offensive line is better.
I'm actually confident.
And we actually got a mobile quarterback to get out of the way if he needs to.
Like I said, I want us to be trash. I want Harrison Jr. That's the
No,
only
I'm
reason
not
I have
with
us
that,
going.
bro.
I have us going 4 wins.
I hope you just want that pick to be bad enough for Frank to embarrass the entire organization and make a damn Super Bowl while we suck.
Sure.
I want to win,
Absolutely.
bro. Like
I mean,
I
here's what
know
it
we're
is. I don't
rebuilding,
care.
but I want to win, man.
Yeah, I want to win.
Hey,
I don't
what's
care.
up, Brian?
I'd prefer to
3
win
years
than
out,
get
in my
Marvin
opinion.
Harrison Jr.
That's exactly what I've been telling y'all the whole time. I would just hope Frank would just Chris Ballard take his nutsack and put it in the wheelbarrow and trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr. if we make the goddamn playoffs. That would
We're
be my
3 years.
hope.
We're 3 years out, in my opinion, from truly competing. So my mindset is
3 years.
Yeah, I think
want
this
Corum.
year, next year.
I want
Bro,
Corum,
we competed last year.
No. Like truly competing, like deep playoff rounds.
Bro, we lost 7 games
We
by one
competed.
score.
Yeah,
7
I don't
games
think
by
we're
one
as
score.
far off as you're
And the
saying,
year before
man.
that, we were
Like-
two wins, one win out of a playoff.
No. Like deep playoff runs because we got a lot of guys who are on 1-year deals. So I think there's going to be a lot of turnover. So again, this year's a
But guess
foundational
what?
year. Next
Guess
year's
what?
what?
If Anthony Richardson wins Rookie of the Year, guess what? Next year, the Colts are a dark horse contender to win the Super Bowl. That's
and
what
teams
the
are going to
media
want
says.
to, and
That's
players
what
are
the
going to want to
media
come and
says.
play
I
for
mean,
us.
No, I'm just saying though, like you got us like we the Cardinals, like we ain't got
Bro,
nothing, like we just about
I
to
think
lose
we're-
every game.
I
by
think
like,
we're the
I'm gonna
third
make-
worst team in the NFL.
I'm gonna make a
100%.
take. I'm gonna make a take right now because Damon just said if Anthony Richardson wins Rookie of the Year, we become dark horse. Damon just
people
said
are gonna want to come.
that people will want to come here. I actually will call bullshit on that. I actually think nobody's gonna want to come here after the Jonathan Taylor situation.
Right.
No one's gonna want to deal with Chris
It
Ballard.
does hurt. That
So
does
in my opinion, I'm just saying this is a take. No one is going to want to deal with Chris Ballard.
I don't.
I
Dude,
think
I
we
don't
are
know though
3
because
years out.
winning solves everything, man.
Can't
He
compare
just-
the Jonathan
no.
Taylor situation
But
to other
he-
people, dude. That's
He
not.
literally just paid Luke Rhodes
I
and
know.
refuses to pay a running
and
back.
Matt Gay. I know.
Okay,
I agree. I'm just saying, like,
I
if
just-
in this hypothetical where we win and win and win, it's not gonna they'll come because
I don't think winning
solves
fixes everything because they can go
It
somewhere
does,
else and
man.
win. No, because they can go somewhere else and win.
It'd take less money to do so.
Who was it? I want to say it was 2 different dudes. I know for sure it was Adam Thielen and one other guy who said they went to a team because they want to win to a Super Bowl. and Adam Thielen chose to go to the Panthers. So
and D-Hop went to the Titans.
Exactly. So, but I just got one thing, man. I'm just gonna say this to refute your argument. If I'm a player out there, right, and I'm thinking I'm a free agent, I'm thinking, okay, do I want to deal with Ballard? I've seen one thing from him: when players perform, they get paid. I look at DeForest Buckner. I look at Shaq Leonard. I look at Quentin Nelson. I look at Bernard Ryman. Or not Bernard Ryman, my bad. Braden Smith.
That dude on year 2.
Zaire Franklin.
Braden Smith. Zaire Franklin. I look at the guys who have performed and I say, okay, look, if I want to mess with Chris Ballard, I know if I'm a performer, I'm going to go get paid.
Yeah, but those other all those names you just said got zero media attention, even when they got paid, even when they performed. Now you're looking at guys. Now you're looking at guys that got media attention. Jonathan, that's what matters. I get it, the winning matters, but let's say we go 10-7 and Anthony Richardson wins Rookie of the Year. I still doubt we bring in a lot of FAs because if you look historically, Chris Ballard doesn't pay names for FAs. So even if players want to come here, they're not going to want to deal with a guy who's not going to pay them free agent money.
That's subject to change, though, bro.
You have to perform for the Indianapolis Colts to get paid. That's what you just named. If you didn't play for us, if you didn't play for us or perform for us, you're not getting paid.
I mean, that's the same thing everybody thought until Stephon Gilmore signed with us. I mean, I think it would take a year. Go ahead, Damon.
It's subject to change. Here's my thing. Do you think that Chris Ballard was going to come bring in, let's say, $40 to $50 million worth of free agents last year with Matt Ryan? Do you honestly think that?
You honestly should.
Do you honestly
probably would have won more than 4
Let me finish. Do you think he would have honestly pursued $40 to $50 million of free agents with a quarterback that's 38 years old? You don't know what you're going to get out of him. You think you're going to get leadership, and you think your roster is good enough for the point that you just need a quarterback to succeed.
And this is already your fourth quarterback in 4 years.
Exactly. But he's not going to go spend that money. He's not going to go look after that.
But here's the thing. That's not how Ballard's looking at it. You're being hopeful. Ballard has said thousands of times that he likes who we have. That's the reason he doesn't go into FAs. It didn't matter who we had at quarterback. Ballard did not want to go out and spend all that money because he personally believes that he can build it through the draft.
If anybody wants Chris Ballard fired on this podcast first, it's me. I think I've made that very clear for the last 2 seasons.
Which is proving that you're just being hopeful that Anthony Richardson winning Rookie of the Year
what I'm trying to say
is going to change Chris Ballard.
I think having a
Damon is just saying if Ballard has a real reason to spend the money, he thinks that he will. Because Damon had a reason.
He had a reason after 2018. He had a reason
with who at quarterback.
But he did.
Hold on. Andrew Luck retired 2 weeks before the season. That's way after free agency, and he didn't go sign shit.
That wasn't 2018 though.
I said after 2018. After Andrew Luck.
Why would you spend the money if Jacoby Brissett is your quarterback and you don't know what you're going to get?
Because Anthony, hold on, bro. Listen, you guys are lost. Andrew Luck retired 2 weeks before the season started. After the 2018 season. Yes.
Yeah.
2 weeks before the season started. That's way after the free agency opened up. Who did we sign?
We didn't need anybody.
Chris Ballard didn't prep for that 2019 season by signing anyone. And yes, we did. We needed a whole lot.
We went 7-9 with
No, we didn't. Listen, bro, I'm talking about before he knew Andrew Luck retired. Because he didn't know that whole offseason.
You said we went 7-9 with Jacoby Brissett with the same people that you said that we didn't go spend any money on.
But I'm just saying he had a reason, is my point.
So if you had a guy like
Andrew Luck, then you had a reason to give him top tier talent in free agency.
Why? Because he's in rehab?
Oh my God, dude. What are you talking about?
No, bro.
Andrew Luck was in rehab.
You literally had your quarterback until he retired 2 weeks before the season.
Andrew Luck for a year. Andrew Luck was hurt. Andrew Luck played a year and then got hurt.
That's DeMarco. We're talking about if he was healthy. So the year after
Because,
Luck
if he's
retired,
healthy, if I'm
when
Chris
we-
Ballard, I'm sitting in my office thinking, okay, my quarterback's here, but he's hurt.
right?
He comes back the next
but
season, and he's here. Oh, he gets hurt in a
DeMarco,
skiing accident,
even
and then he
even when
retires, and I'm supposed to
DeMarco,
spend.
And everyone
Even when
planned
he
for
had
Andrew
him.
Luck. Everyone planned for Andrew Luck to play in 2019
Right.
season.
even when he had him, he didn't spend the money. So why is
That
he
was
going
the
to spend
point.
money now when he has Anthony Richardson?
Because he
No.
had him for a year. He had
Yes,
one healthy
and he-
year and then
and
got
he-
hurt again.
But you
I'ma say this
still,
too.
but you made the playoffs, right? You're talking about being hurt in a skiing situation when he was supposed to still play the next season.
Okay, so when did he get
So
hurt?
you're planning. That's not the point. The point is you were still planning for dude to play in 2019 season. And you
still
didn't do
didn't spend any money
anything
in
in
free
March
agency.
when free agency kicked off to give this
To
guy
help him.
weapons.
Okay, let me
Right.
ask y'all a question, bro.
You're
Because
obsessed with this
is-
whole
is
skiing
just-
situation.
No, I'm not obsessed with anything. I'm talking about make it make sense. We won 7 fucking games with Jacoby Brissett
God,
and
dude.
whoever else that y'all said that we should have added to the team.
Bro, who would
please
have
tell
known?
me. Please
Who would-
tell me the difference. Please tell me the difference between how many wins we get with Andrew Luck versus Jacoby Brissett. Please answer me that.
Okay, in
difference. We won
2018,
11
it
straight
was
games.
3 fucking games. It was 3-game difference.
It was 4. We went from 11 to 7.
No, we went from 10 to 7.
We went from 11 to 7. Andrew Luck won 11 games every year.
No, we won 10 games in 2018. We went 10 and fucking 6. We
Okay.
lost 3 extra games. You know what the difference could have been if you would have given you were going into the 2019 season with Andrew Luck, not with Jacoby Brissett. Not until 2 weeks before the season started. So if you win 10 games, you lose to a top-tier team like Kansas City in the playoffs, like we did, then you give that man weapons to beat a team like Kansas City. You don't just fucking sit there stagnant and be like, oh, we're okay with 10 wins with the guys that we have.
So you don't think we improve upon a 10-win season?
No.
I got
Here, boys.
I got Geller out.
Hey, man.
I'll see y'all.
I mean, I just look at it like if we had a superstar quarterback in Andrew Luck, which we potentially have a superstar quarterback in AR, Ballard doesn't spend money, not because Ballard can't, but Ballard doesn't want to.
Bro, so I
Because
think
Ballard rather do this through the draft.
I think
Plus-
the interesting thing is going to be if Shane Steichen, like how much of a say he has in this shit too, because we've seen this from
Well,
Frank, where
true.
the whole time Frank was here, like he had the same belief of like, I trust the guys that are here. I believe in the guys. So like when those heads are together, like, yeah, obviously they're not going to go and spend shit, but now Frank's gone. Like if Shane's more aggressive and he goes to Chris, hey, I want to go after these guys. I want to go after this guy. Like, who is Ballard to say no to the coach that he put his faith in? You know what I'm saying? So
True.
that's, to me,
And
that's more interesting than who's the
valid.
quarterback.
The
and, like,
situation,
should I pay where like that?
the
might change
situation is different because we know Ballard's back is against the wall. And I believe this year there has to be some signs of improvement regardless of record or Ballard is gone.
100%. Yeah, we
Because
have
we
to see
have-
the guys that he has faith
We
in
have
perform.
right. We have so much free agent. We have so much cap room available next year that if we get a new GM, we can go any which way the new GM wants.
Right.
So
For sure.
that I understand why Ballard didn't spend this year, why he's refusing to pay JT, why he hasn't paid Michael Pittman Jr. yet, why he only signed a kicker and a long snapper and a punter to longer deals.
Yeah.
I understand that. But Ballard's typical history is he doesn't spend in free agency whatsoever on big name pieces.
Well, he's very big
all
about
I
like
was-
the bargain deals though, right? Like he got Gilmore on a pretty good deal. He got Yannick Ngakoue on a pretty good deal. Like he's brought guys in. He's gone
Right.
after guys, but he's not going
Right.
to go after those top dollar guys that he doesn't feel is worth.
He's not going to go after
throwing
the
the
true
bag
difference
at.
makers, in my opinion.
I
And
mean,
that's
I
where
would
we're-
argue that
that's where
those guys
we're
were
lacking.
difference makers. Those guys were definitely different.
Gilly
difference
was
makers
100%
for us.
sure.
We just sucked. Yeah, I mean, but
Right.
that wasn't on Gilly at all. But I mean, you get what I'm saying.
Right. That's
I
my
think-
only argument in this is even when Ballard had the means, even when we were
Mhm.
arguably top 3 in quarterback in the AFC, Ballard didn't spend. So
Sure.
he's not going to now because he's set in his ways. He doesn't want to.
Now, I think my issue, or like what I fear, is that if we do go the other way, right, and we do fire Ballard, we bring in a different GM, every GM is notorious for winning their guys in the building. I really believe that Shane Steichen is the right guy moving forward. So I fear that if we get a new GM in the building, he's going to want to just start fresh, like get rid of the coaching staff, like do everything his way, which is understandable. It's what a GM should do. But I don't know. That's why I want to give Ballard a couple years with Steichen.
I have a unique theory on that because I think that I think Steichen stays regardless.
I hope so, yeah.
I mean, just because I think Irsay is going to be like, I have my head coach, I have my quarterback. I need a GM who can work around that. So, it wouldn't shock me to see, Ballard get gone and then, they promote, Ed Dobbs.
Maybe.
To be, GM, through that rank.
Yeah.
I do fear that a new GM will come in and be like, I want my coach, I want my quarterback, I want my skills. Right. Yeah. Because now I have all this cap space. I'm going to do what I want with the roster, let key pieces go, and truly be in a
back
rebuild.
To square zero. Yeah.
Truly
that's what I fear the most, man.
And I look at it like this team offensively is in that rebuild. Yes, we have nice key pieces, but I think offensively, that's why we won't win very many games is because we're in an offensive rebuild. We have a young quarterback with a couple nice pieces, a potential really good play caller and really good head coach, and a solid defense when they want to be, when Gus Bradley decides, to coach well.
It was hard. It was hard to really gauge the defense last year too, just because so often they were put in shitty positions. So it's like, how far can you really judge them, how capable they are when they play fucking 90% of the snaps of the game? You know what I'm saying? After a while, it's like, bro, I can't even be mad at these guys anymore. They're fucking exhausted. So I think this year we should get a clearer picture too of how that defense really is. Hopefully with the healthy Shaq.
Right. I think that again, like Ballard said in his press conference, I think this is a prove it year for a lot of guys on the roster.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Especially the guys that have been here. Pittman Jr. is a big one for me, dude. We've seen him be the guy, and then we've seen him take a step back, and all these different quarterbacks. He has his excuses. It's totally fair. But man, I want to see something from that guy if we're gonna pay him. He's got to step up and be the man. Same thing with guys like Kenny Moore. Really everyone that's been here a while, other than Buckner and Q, because I'll pay them whatever they want. But everyone else, it's a step up year, man.
It's Ballard said it's all about winning.
Yeah, 100%.
JT didn't help them win. They won 4 games. So
and back to this whole free agent thing, right? Whether guys are going to want to come because of JT's scenario. I think, and I'm hopeful that most players are smart enough to see that JT kind of put himself in this hole. We spent a whole episode talking about it, so I'm not going to deep dive into it, but it was just bad business sense, man. Bad advice from his agent, bad fucking everything. He really kind of played himself and put himself here. So I don't know. Hopefully players can look at the team and be like, this isn't all on the Colts, bro. JT's kind of a dumbass in this situation. So
it's both ways. It's a stigma.
Yeah, it's both.
I think Ballard has kind of earned the stigma for being cheap. I think Jim's kind of earned the stigma for, well, yes, Jim does a lot of good in the community of Indianapolis and is kicking the stigma stuff. I think he's also kind of earned it for now he's going to be a guy who sticks to the CBA or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So the collective bargaining agreement. So there's going to be guys who are like, oh, I won't go there because they're not going to overpay, obviously. But you're right. It's also on the agent. It's also, JT overplayed his hand.
Yeah, 100%. So, especially in a time when no running back is getting paid a goddamn thing.
It goes both ways. It goes both ways. But
so I guess that's an interesting scenario to present too. Where do you guys see this JT situation ending? Is he fucking playing? Is he getting out here? How are we handling this as the season is not just approaching? It's here. Tomorrow we play. So
I think once he's healthy, he plays.
Yeah.
Backsuit it up for us. Yeah, and for one, I'm all for it, dude. I don't give a shit. Settle whatever you have to backstage, it behind closed doors. But at the end of the day, it benefits him and it benefits us for him to play and him to ball out. So there's no reason to not to.
I also think that he's going to be deadly with AR. That's just
it's going to be a fun.
I think this system's going to be built for him. and it's gonna fit too much that you can't really walk away from it.
No, 100%. I mean, dude. I think the entire roster offensively, like, we're gonna get to see a lot from these guys because they don't have to worry about a guy at the end of his career walking on stilts in the pocket. Can't move around and gets hit. Like, we saw them have success with Carson, obviously success with Andrew Luck back in the day. Like, mobile QBs have fit this team's offense, and like the guys that we've had for a while, like Quentin Nelson, Braden Smith, Ryan Kelly, like they've played well with mobile quarterbacks. That's when we had, the most dominant O-line in the fucking league. So I'm hopeful, and I think that we can take a step at least back in that direction with a guy like AR, who's easily the most mobile QB that's probably ever worn the horseshoe, right? Like,
yeah,
with this guy running around, we should be way better off as far as the O-line goes.
We've talked about it a few times that I always thought last year was a schematic issue on the offensive line, man. They're not built to just step back and build that pocket.
No.
They're them guys that slide, they move, they pull. They don't just sit there and let guys come and attack them. That's not what they're built for. That's why you saw Quentin Nelson get freaking manhandled multiple times last season.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Kelly getting manhandled multiple times.
Right.
They're guys that they would prefer to run at you and not you run at them. That's just how this offensive line has been built.
100%. Like, as big as these guys are, as good as these guys are, they're not stone walls. They're not that archetype of player. There's guys that can do that, but then they suck in the run block, and our guys are built to fucking run block and to move around, like you're saying. Like, we have guys that are arguably the best at pulling in the game. When you really go back and watch the highlights, and like, we weren't able to do it. We haven't been able to do it for a while now. So if we can get back to that, dude, we're gonna we'll at least be entertaining to watch. I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna win a bunch of games, but we should at least be in games more often.
I think schematically it's a better fit. I don't know. I just need to see it to believe it. Like, because offensive line
don't want to get my hopes up.
Is my biggest concern. And if they do well, then, I'll gladly be wrong if the Colts rip off 8, 9, 10 games. Yeah. But
you're wrong, bro. It's all right. You're wrong.
Right. I'll gladly be wrong. But that is my biggest concern with the offense because Frank Reich's not there, so play calling's automatically improved. Automatically improved. Night
Jeff
and day.
Saturday's not there, so
you can't say that now when you just said he was going to go to a Super Bowl with Carolina.
Night and day.
All the way
well,
back.
I mean,
we've
all. I think Bryce Young would lead them to a Super Bowl. I think Bryce Young's good enough to overcome Frank's inefficiencies.
You got a lot of high praise for Bryce, bro.
I do. I think he's that good. He's a midget. Praise. He's a midget, but I think he's that good.
I would have liked to at least see him play in the league first.
He's Kyler Murray, bro. We were saying the same shit about Kyler Murray. Now, granted, Kyler Murray kind of does it to himself because he's, maybe immature and this, that, and there, and he's in a terrible situation. So hopefully Bryce Young is better. But like literally, as far as the archetype of player, the size, the abilities, like they're almost the same guy, man.
Right. I just think that Frank Reich's a better play caller. Richardson isn't as raw as we think it is. My biggest question on the offense, I'm not worried about pass catchers because, hell, we got 9 tight ends. We'll be fine. Right. That's what I meant. Steichen's a better play caller. We got 9 tight ends. We'll find someone to catch the ball.
We actually got 4 from the 12 that we had at one point.
Fair enough. Either way, we'll find someone to catch the ball.
It's pretty crazy.
It's to me, the offensive line is the biggest concern going forward.
Or well, they're not my biggest concern, but they're my biggest I would say need to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
That would
nothing else matters if they suck.
Yeah, I think that's going to be number one for me. Is our O-line has to run block and pass block well, for everything else to move from there.
If they can be solid, then I think Indianapolis can win more than 4 games. Obviously,
I think my biggest concern is Gus Bradley, and I think it's going to be that way.
I also got major concerns with him too.
Because at first, last year I looked at last year in the beginning of the season, and I was like, oh, we looked pretty good. The first whatever half of the season. And then I look at what he did this preseason with all the starters against
not great. Yeah.
Philly's third and second string players. And I'm like,
but how much of that was vanilla defense or the same defense over and over again on purpose?
Bro, that vanilla defense is exactly what he runs all season.
That's how Jacksonville's going to beat us tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fair. We're going to sit and cover 3 and let them eat up 10 yards every play.
Because he's still trying to figure out who he can trust. I mean, Name me a corner right now that you can trust in man coverage.
There's not one. There's not one. Yeah, 100%. There's not.
I mean, I would say Brent, but he hasn't played enough. So
I don't know. It's
can't
not
even
too
say
many
that.
in the league that I would say I would trust in man coverage across the league.
Like the whole game.
I mean, yeah, they're hard to get anyways.
But to your point, on our team, I think I couldn't name anybody in man or zone that I could be like,
He's
oh
locked
yeah,
down, yeah.
you can throw it his way if you want to.
We traded that guy to Dallas.
So like,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
when I think
I would take Kenny in zone before I take Kenny in man coverage.
When I think this vanilla defense that Gus runs, man, and I try to think of ways that you make it not vanilla and still not have to stress out. And I'm sorry, but it's just not possible because you gotta blitz somebody.
Yeah.
You gotta do. I mean, the most he can do that's not vanilla to where I feel somewhat okay is some stunts on the defensive line, and that's it. That's all.
But he does that regularly.
Yeah, but he didn't do it in preseason.
I don't even think he calls that. I think he leaves that open for the D line to run on their own.
Yeah, well,
honestly, I don't know if we've seen too many.
They need to do stunts every time because that straightforward crap don't cut it. And our defense, our secondary is not going to be able to. Man, I'm so worried.
I'm definitely concerned about our secondary.
I do want to say that I did misread that the quote that I had texted you guys from Joel Erickson, and then when I watched the video from what he talked about, Gus did seem like he had some confidence in the cornerbacks, and when you actually watch the video, you can kind of see where he was coming from when he said what he said, and basically saying that the Jaguars were going to be a good test. So just like Matt and Zach said earlier here, that when you guys were talking about the Jags, you were saying that this is probably one of the best receiving cores that we're going to see throughout the league.
Sure.
I think that's also what Gus was reiterating, saying that this is going to be a big challenge for us, having a bunch of unproven guys, and he said that, he looks forward to seeing where we're at. Like, he's using this as a test.
I'm not.
It's not really.
I'm not looking forward to seeing where they're at.
I mean, as a Colts fan, you don't really want to think like, okay, we're just testing this out, but that's really what this is. This is trial by error.
I'll say this: Evan Ingram is top 5 tight end.
Well, that's Kenny Moore's responsibility
as of last year, and that's Kenny Moore. And Kenny Moore's getting torched by guys that shouldn't even be in the conversation.
So that's something I want to dive into as far as the Jags goes. They have a couple guys like Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, like guys that really overperformed last year. So now the question is like, is that really who they are, or did they just have a great year and now they're going to come back to who they are?
Did they truly overperform, or did
I think so, yeah.
Did Doug Peterson figure out a way to use them properly?
That's my question. Can they keep doing that, or was it a one-off?
I think Christian Kirk was an overperformance. I think Zay Jones in the middle of the field, the way he was schematically, did not overperform. I think he just. Okay. I think because he's a check down guy, right? He's the guy Trevor Lawrence goes to a lot. So he got 700 to 800 yards because he was the check down guy.
Sure.
I mean, that was Derek Carr's guy as well. But I was going to say I also think that Evan Ingram reminded me of the year that he had was that year that Eric Ebron had with Andrew Luck, because he was drop Thomas prime for a long time, and then he had the year with Andrew Luck. And then once he left Andrew Luck, he kind of dropped off. So it's like, I think that's something that's still got to be proven. But to that point, though, I think the same thing is like, if we get different looks out of Gus Bradley's defense, then we can make a difference. Or if we get major pressure from the D line, because that was something that worked very well with his Seattle teams that did very well, was the pressure from the D line. So I think those are things that are going to come up a lot. And obviously we're going to play that soft zone. That's just going to be a given.
Zay Jones is going to go for like 150 tomorrow.
Oh, I don't have that. I think he plays well, but 150 is I feel like we're usually good about like one dude killing us, unless it's like Kiki Kuti, then he's going to like murder us. But we're usually good about containing
150 with 120 running yards after the catch.
I see. If we see 150 out of anybody, I think it'd be out of ETN. I think that would be the one that we see 150. That guy's a breaker.
So I think they're going to have to cut us up through the air. I think we'll have to run. Like I trust our D line to really contain that run, at least to the point where like that's not the reason we lose. You know what I mean? Etienne's incredibly talented dude, but I don't know. I don't have them just running us over like they're the 49ers.
No. I don't have them shutting us out like they did last year.
If they beat us, it'll be through the passing game, because I think defensively we're stout enough up front. But it's just
I mean,
It's
we're healthy across the board in the front seven.
Mhm.
I mean, even with D-Buck having this elbow issue, I mean, he wears a brace anyway.
He'll be
So
ready
I
to go.
don't understand why everybody's all like concerned. They just had to add him to the damn injury
Yeah.
report because he's got a hurt elbow.
Well, yeah,
He's
and
always
it's-
got a hurt elbow. He plays in the trenches. All them
he
dudes
never
got
feels
tendinitis.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, all them dudes got tendinitis. You know what I'm saying? Like the amount of hand movements and pushing they got to do. Of course, their elbows fucking hurt. Mine would too.
I think it's just concern because of the name, man. Like if Buck goes down, we know like we're in trouble. That dude's a freaking monster, and we're so, like blessed to watch him play. Like he's a fucking beast.
But then again,
So-
I'm not concerned if he doesn't play because
I'm a little.
Grover was a guy that stepped up into D-Buck's shoes when D-Buck's not there.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, on
ahead,
YouTube, my mom says, or my mom is speaking for my dad. So my dad says, if the Colts win 7 games, then he believes Steichen should get Coach of the Year.
I mean, he won't. They're gonna give it to someone that goes to the playoffs. But
Yeah,
it would certainly show a lot of progress if we could. Win
I
7
think
games.
that
If Steichen goes 7-10 and the rest of the
If they win
division goes
7
7-10 and we win the division.
I would love that. Or I would love that 6-11, win the division, sweep the division, make the playoffs, being 6-11. That'd be what's up.
Yep.
That would be
That would
what's
be
up.
it. That's the way it
That'd be
happens.
hilarious.
I don't think
But
it would be the first time it's ever happened either.
But if you win 7 games and get Coach of the Year, in my opinion, the Colts have the 3rd worst roster in the league just because young it is, not talent wise, just because youth doesn't win in the NFL.
Unproven. I can see unproven.
Ever.
I disagree with your roster comment.
To
I-
me, like
Top 3 unproven. I could take. I'm not gonna say worse though.
that's fine.
I'll tell you
I just
what.
think
I'll
how
tell
young
you
it
what.
is. How young it
Before
is.
the
I hate
season-
young rosters.
Before the season started last year, the Jaguars had a bottom 30
Yeah,
roster.
That's true.
As soon as they went to the playoffs, they have a top 10 roster. So
And
I
nothing
totally
changed.
disagree with the roster comment.
I just don't like young rosters. There's not enough vets on it, for my opinion. But like
I like a young roster because that just means you got more years to be successful.
that, true. Well, they're young in the right places, but I still think that the youth is in the wrong places on defense. If that makes sense.
The secondary. I mean, and that's
because
a huge fucking
because our
concern.
one vet fucking decided to go bet on some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like if we
Now
were
it's a
young, like
punk-ass season.
up front, okay, I could live with
Yeah.
that. If we had more answers at receiver for a young quarterback,
Sure.
I wouldn't mind. But it's just the answers that we don't have. That why I say that. And then on the back end, and arguably a passing league, and our secondary is maybe the youngest
Bunch of
secondary in the
kids,
league.
man. Yeah.
Right. Maybe that's why I say like the youth in the certain spots is why I believe it's not a winning combination.
I think there's a lot of question marks, but I'm also encouraged because we have done well at getting young DBs. Like even though it's always a need because we're always drafting somebody. Like the guys we draft have done pretty well. Like we look at Rodney Thomas last year. He was a nobody, a write-off. And this dude was like
That's
making
my
plays for-
breakout player
You know what I'm saying?
with Twitty.
You know what I'm saying? Like Rodney Thomas played really well. Isaiah Rodgers was a nobody, and until he went and got on DraftKings, like I just did, he
I
was
saw
fucking
today-
balling.
I saw today Rodney Thomas actually only let up a 50 QBR all of last season.
That's
He was,
my guy.
He was lockdown for us.
He
Like, he's
reminds
great.
me of a who is it? He reminds me of a young Eric Berry, where he could play ball hawk.
So it's one of those things. It's like
Love it.
I'm
Second
concerned.
favorite DB of
I'm
all.
concerned, but I'm not hitting the panic button because Ballard has done a good job of drafting safeties and cornerbacks in the past couple years. So I'm hopeful. I guess it's question
Yeah, but
marks.
the
I'm
corners
hopeful.
he typically drafts take about a year or two to develop.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
right.
usually
That's why it's
special
like-
teams guys. They're usually special teams guys with like a year on special teams, and then they get
Yeah.
like 30 to 40% of snaps, and they prove
And then they
themselves
start. Yeah.
by the end of the season.
But now we're in a
because he
position where
keeps
they're
drafting
just
these,
outside. They're starting.
He keeps drafting these undrafted in 5th and 6th round, 7th round DBs. That's why.
Yeah.
I think it's
but
the
but he's
fact that
found
we
them
don't-
diamonds in
Right.
the rough. But
and I think it's the fact that we don't have any high capital in that position, which
Yeah.
concerns me. Like Brent's is like the first corner that I can really like feel like, dude, that's the first corner
He
we've
could be
taken in the
somebody.
2nd round since I don't remember Rock Yassin, and we traded him like 2 years into the deal. So
That's because
like,
he couldn't stop fucking holding.
but he
Yeah.
was good. I think
Here's
we
the
gave
thing,
up
Rock-
too early on him.
Rock's,
I mean,
Rock's
I loved his coverage, but it was like
Yeah.
every time
Yeah.
he played good coverage,
No,
like,
no, no, no.
let him go.
No, he did it against quarterbacks that always get the call.
That too, yeah.
That was his
It was
issue.
just-
He
he's
didn't
so
know
talented,
when to
man. It
not
was just
do
tough.
it. Because
I would take it back, though.
There were games that he did it, and I'm like, oh, he should have been flagged for that. But we were playing teams that
He
don't
got away
have
with
those
it.
top 5 quarterbacks. But then when you play guys like Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah,
I
they're
remember
calling it.
these games because I think this was the game that I remember getting really pissed about. It was
No,
we were
Deshaun
up.
Watson. He mugged
went-
that dude going on the sidelines.
We went to I think it was the game we went into overtime with Green Bay.
The
But we
Packers.
we were dominating them. And
Yeah.
then Rock got called for pass interference like 5 times in the second half. And I was like, bro, stop. It's
No,
Aaron
yeah,
Rodgers.
They're looking at you.
You can't do
First
that.
half, we gave them the big lead, and then we.
Oh, yeah,
we
that's right,
opened
that's
up in the
right. It was
second
that
half.
way.
Yeah.
It was that way. It was something where Rodgers kept getting called for all these PIs on like 3rd and long. And I'm like, bro, stop. You can't do that against Aaron Rodgers. He would do it against Kansas City. Of course,
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is going to get that call.
Yeah.
Playing against
Yeah,
guys like Tom Brady, you can't do that.
Say he did it only versus good QBs.
Every single DB holds. Every single DB
Just if you
is
get
doing a
away with it.
PI. It's just who you do it against.
Pick your spots.
Yes.
I mean, I will feel better if one of these young guys, Baker, who sat on the practice squad for a year, so technically he's a 2-year pro, if he comes out and he develops and looks nice.
that's him.
I hope so, because
He was on the practice squad last year.
right. Because to me, the fact that we're so young at corner and the fact that we're so young on the edges and receiving and stuff like that, that's why I say like the Colts are wrong, the wrong age and all the wrong spots. Because I typically like having veterans play corner and receiver.
So my thing to you
we've
is
got
though, it's
2
like
vets playing
imagine
receiver.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing to
vets.
you is like, and they're both young too, as far as being vets.
MPJ and McKenzie, they're both
yeah.
vets. I mean that.
Well,
Both
no,
of them.
I mean like Michael Pittman's like what? I think he's still under 26, right?
He's
Yeah,
26.
25.
but he's a
And-
vet.
and
But he's a
so-
vet.
yeah.
And then
No,
McKenzie,
I
I think,
just
is
mean-
around the same age. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'm just saying we got young vets as well.
Sure.
And so my
Yeah.
thing to Zach is just like, imagine if this team does what we did something like in 2020 with Phillip Rivers,
Right.
and we start looking pretty good, and our team is very, very young.
Yeah.
That
then
gives
the-
us
Yeah.
that
the
gives
window's
us a
bigger.
huge
Absolutely.
window to
absolutely.
be successful. So that's why I don't really see it as a down, because it's like if we were regressing from like a 9, 10, 11, 12 win season or something where we look like we might have been going somewhere with all the same pieces, obviously, because we were a
Right.
9-win
Sure.
team that did regress, but we changed some pieces. And so it's like we're coming off a 4-win team, which means we're just trying to trend up.
It's only one way to go, man.
We're
Can't do
just
much
we're
worse.
just trying to trend up.
here's
And
the way I
so
see it.
if we can look good with this young team, 25.8, the third youngest team in the league, I think that's a
Let's-
win.
Let's
It's a
say we
huge
get
win.
let's say we get torched tomorrow, right? Because we got this young secondary. Let's just not torched, but picked apart.
Sure.
Let's say Trevor Lawrence goes, I don't know, 23 for 28, 245, 3 touchdowns, maybe 1 pick because of a batted ball from D-Buck or something, right?
Shaq just jumps the route.
Yeah, Shaq's gonna do something. Let's say he does that, right? And we lose. Let's say we lose tomorrow. As long as the secondary looks better in week 6 when we play them again,
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm all good.
Right.
I'm 100%.
As long as
with
I
that.
see steady improvement, I'm
Development.
happy. But if there's
Yeah.
no improvement and we got guys running wide open, blown coverages and stuff like that, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
The first month of the season, that's okay. Beyond that, you can't have that anymore.
Dude.
Right.
And what I really want to do is have like a reevaluation of the team at like week 8, week 9, because that's when we really start to see what we're talking about, this progress. Because I think we need to look at these DBs and these young dudes that we have the same way we're looking at AR, where it's like, hey, mistakes are going to get made. He's going to look like shit a couple times. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make huge mistakes, maybe blow the game, but play the long game with him. Give him time, give him reps. Just let him get out there and play and get experience. I want to have that same attitude towards these DBs. Where it's like, if he gets torched once, like, all right, let's let him figure it out because we have no other option.
Well,
Let
this
him
is the
keep playing,
season.
dude.
This is the season where you don't focus on all 17 games when it comes to evaluation, right? The way I look at it is I'm looking at all of your division games. That's
Yeah.
it. I'm looking at the 6 division games.
Sure.
And the reason I'm looking at those 6 division games for evaluation purposes is because you're seeing how not only the players' development, but how Steichen sees, let's say Jags in week 1,
Mhm.
and then how he adjusts to see them again in week 6.
Agreed.
Right? Because if you guys remember, my biggest pet peeve with Frank wasn't his play calling. I mean, it was to an extent, but what I hated about Frank was his adjustments were terrible. And if you remember the 2018 season with Andrew Luck was the year I really started to hate Frank.
That 0-6.
Yeah, when we lost 0-6, and the reason we lost 0-6 against the Jags was because the game plan was exactly the same. And the only reason I remember was because that stupid tight end jet sweep to Eric Ebron. We ran
same shit.
We ran it 4 times the first time we played him because it worked. And then we tried to run it like 6 more times the second time, and it didn't work once. I'm like, what are we doing, Frank? And that was the minute I was like,
well,
Frank is terrible at this.
Yeah, I think that's a great point too.
To what you said about the yards and stuff. Obviously, we'd want the completion percentage to not be 22 of 26. But are we really upset if Trevor Lawrence throws for 245 yards?
No. That wasn't the point. The point was that he has an efficiently good game.
He has a Trevor Lawrence game.
Yeah,
but then week 6 we play better. Week 6 we play better to where he might not be that 21 for 26. Maybe he is. Yeah. Maybe he's like, I don't know, 21 for 35. We're forcing him to have to throw more, completing less, QBR decreases, things like that. That's what I want to see from our secondary as the season progresses, because they are young. So like tomorrow, do I expect them to come out and be like Legion of Boom? No.
Probably get bullied a little bit.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get
bullied. If not great, but probably get bullied.
I hope not.
I'd prefer beat versus bullied. Don't get bullied.
I expect them
to stop. We got bullied with Frank. Let's not.
Don't get clowned on. Like as long as you don't get clowned on, I'll be
get beat. That's different. But don't look stupid. Let's stupid Colts era.
Yeah, we need to see a level of preparation that gives us confidence. Like I know I'm sitting here saying wait for the progress.
Make it look like you went through a training camp.
We have to see that you've been trying. You know what I'm saying? If you come out and just don't do a fucking thing, like I'm gonna be a little bit less patient with you. But yeah, like come out, show a level of preparation, because especially with division games too. Like these are the games you prepare most for. You build to win your division. You build to play these guys. There's no other factors. Like we get to see the purest, especially when you've against our division.
Especially when you've known your schedule for what?
5 months.
Quite a few months.
Yeah, you've already known that you're prepping for Jacksonville week 1 at home. I mean, you should know what you're going to get out of Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence isn't a mystery. He's not a mystery. Yeah. He's a guy that you need to apply pressure on.
He's quick and he's efficient, man. So
right.
You got to get after him.
A lot of that's going to come down to Gus. So.
They're sitting there. I mean, their defense isn't good.
I mean,
their defense ain't that
solid.
good.
Josh Allen's a beast, though.
Yeah, Josh Allen is a game record alone.
Josh Allen can be a beast, but that's not a good defense.
But their defense,
I'm saying the defense around is solid, and then they have a guy that's a monster. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not.
Adjustments are made consistently.
Even with him being.
Go ahead, DeMarco.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say even with Josh Allen being a beast, that doesn't.
The defense isn't good.
It wasn't like he was wrecking any games that we played against him. So
they drafted like 6 linebackers.
Yeah, I'm just saying like they're one of the most average defenses. Like they're just all right. Like they don't.
I think they're below.
They're in that range. You know what I'm saying? Like either 16 or 20 or whatever. They're somewhere around
like
there.
26.
Really? Yeah, I'll take that too.
Yeah, they were not a good.
Go ahead, Zach.
As long as I just see defensive adjustments, like I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah,
it's like from the coaching staff, because that's what we haven't seen in so long. Like
since Eberflus.
Yeah, since like
that's what he was best at.
That was the one thing I used to love about Flus. I know he played probably one of the softest Tampa 2s ever, but man, his second half defense is probably some of the best we've ever seen when he made adjustments, bro.
One of the weirdest things.
I remember.
I think what was it? We'd give up probably like 24 points in the first half.
Like, just wait,
and then give up 3 or 0 the rest of the way.
Yeah. I remember half Flus. We would always say it in the group chat. We'd be like, "Relax, guys.
Yeah,
second
change
half,
is coming.
Loose defense is changing. Yeah,
I don't know why he doesn't do it for 4 quarters, but those second
and then offensively,
second half.
Offensively with Frank, no adjustments. None. Just keep doing the same thing. And all of
Screen,
our points would come from
Hines
Shaq.
up the middle, Hines up the middle, screen, Hines up the middle.
Up the middle.
Shaq Leonard's
bro.
got 3 interceptions, and the only
I don't
reason
even think
putting
we
points on
ran.
them.
We didn't even run those screens outside of that Michael Pittman screen.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Pittman screen that always went for -2.
Bro, that was always my biggest gripe. Why would you run a screen?
I think we run that like
he's not a screen
that
guy.
like
It
4
doesn't make
times a
sense.
game, 3-4 times a game to him, and it never like. I think if we probably took the total for it, we probably got like a total of 25 yards on those screens.
The shit that used to drive me nuts too is when Frank would run all these halfback screens on the first drive, and we would drive straight down the field. Every time. Yeah, straight down the field, and then never run a screen again. Yeah. And then if he does, it's in our own 5-yard line.
Yeah,
and we throw an interception.
Picked off for a touchdown.
What the fuck, man? What are we doing?
My
God, dude.
I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to a lot to see how Shane handles himself, because the way that he's talked, I've really liked it to be an eye-opening difference from what we've had the last few years. Thinking that we can see a lot different in play calling, versatility, game-changing preparation for it all, and to see even the way he causes plays and uses players. So
the other thing
I'm really looking forward to see how he carries himself.
The other thing I want to see too is from Shane. I don't want to see it until about midway through year 2. Is how he doesn't allow what he does in year 1 to define him. And what I mean is Frank, I'd say like year 1, year 2 got known for going for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
But I feel like as year 3 and year 4, year 5 came around, he felt the need to go for it on 4th down every damn time.
Yeah.
You know,
that was his persona. Like that's what he had to live up to. And it's like, bro, just make the smart decision.
I don't feel like the great coaches out there get defined by things like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Andy Reid with all the motion and movement on offense one season doesn't follow him into year 2.
So versatile, yeah.
Yeah, like Bill Belichick. I mean, a lot of his stuff looked different every year depending on who he had, what he had going on. Mike Tomlin.
It's the coaches that stay stagnant that end up getting fucking fired. Like,
and
they don't have longevity.
Dan Campbell proved that on Thursday.
I mean, it'll look. Yeah. You're right. Facts.
Don't get defined by being good at something year 1,
and then just buy into it.
And then buy into it because the media hyped it. Do
I think we're going to see that in a short sample size this year. I think our offense will look different week 4 versus when our offense will be completely different when JT is healthy and in a groove and plays.
See, that's what I want to see too. Like, I want to see how Shane adjusts
because
weekly.
We all believe JT will average 10 yards a carry behind our offensive line.
Yeah,
in the current offense, like we all believe that. DeMarco said it 45,000 times.
I'm telling you, bro.
If you want to get paid, just play, bro. Just play. You're gonna get paid.
DeMarco said it. Give JT the rock behind this offensive line in this system. It's 12 yards a carry, guaranteed.
Every time.
I'm telling you, bro. Like I just imagine seeing myself. Like if I was like because I played when I had to be in that position of running this similar scheme to this where you're doing RPOs. I was the quarterback. I didn't get to have a running back that can move like JT. Right. So it's almost like if I'm watching myself hand the ball off to myself. It's like, dude, just play in this offense. Give us a few games.
Because if you look at it defensively, last year they're crashing. This year they're not going to crash.
They can't.
They can't.
Crash. You're going
Richardson's
to die.
Gone. He's gone.
He's gone.
It will look different. So I think that JT and this offense potent. I think the running back by committee we have will be serviceable. Mm-hmm. I do think with the running back by committee, this offense will look a little more college-like. We will see a little gimmicky, a little NCAA stuff, a little, like Lamar Jackson stuff that we saw him do his first year. Same thing with Jalen.
I do think our offense is going to look very similar to Baltimore year 1 of Lamar Jackson.
I do.
I agree.
And that's what I think the difference can be. The difference in that can be if Jonathan Taylor decides to just say, hey, I can play. Because I think that if he comes back week 5 and we run this offense,
he still hits 1,500 yards.
He goes crazy for 150 yards in his first games back. He gets a contract, and we're off and fucking running.
Dude, that's a dream
averaging 215 yards a game on the ground.
I fully expect Shane to be multiple. I do think with JT, he's going to be. I think formation wise is going to be nuts. I don't know about motion wise, but I think the personnel we have is unique in the fact that we got a lot of big personnel. We're a big team now. Like
I
big
do want to
bodies.
say that
Crazy thing is, they're all fast too. They're not just
Freak
big guys from
athletes.
like
Yeah, they're
across
athletic.
2004, 2005
Athlete.
big, where they were running like 4.5s and 4.6s.
Right.
These dudes are running 4.3s.
That's what
4.4s,
Ballard does
and they're
best, man.
6'4". Like,
He gets freak athletes in the horseshoe, dude.
So seeing how they'll mix it in, what seasonings and sauces that Shane does to kind of create the goulash or create the gumbo that is the Colts offense. In a way, I am curious how it will be used.
I do want to say Steichen spoke in his press conference, and they were asking because of the fact the way that he did it in Philly. Obviously, Miles Sanders was their leading rusher, but he did say that they did committee by back and took the hot hand. He said the Colts were going to be a running back team by committee, and he was going to stick with the hot hand. But the only reason that we are running back by committee is because of our situation with JT.
That's fair.
Right.
That's totally fair.
Yo,
So
my
I think
pops. Go ahead, DeMarco.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, we're pretty much just running with the hot hand until JT is healthy.
My pops just texted me and said we're going to see a lot of diet Philly. So Philly,
Yeah,
like,
oh yeah, it's gonna be
like,
that. It's gonna be that
heavy-
8 and 9 season
yeah,
where they couldn't really throw the ball at all. It's gonna look
Heavy
a lot
R-
like that.
And
Philly.
then
heavy
that arm
RPO,
talent's
heavy
gonna
zone
come along.
read,
Dude,
I'm good with it because didn't they make the
calculated deep
playoffs?
shots.
They made the playoffs at 8 and 9. Yes.
so this is what I'm excited about too, right? Because we talk about AR the same way as like Lamar and potentially Jalen Hurts. Like he's in that similar situation. But I think potentially like his ceiling, I think his arm talent could be better than either of those guys. So if we keep developing him and just keep rocking with this dude 2-3 years down the line,
Well,
he could be one of the best in the league.
to be fair, did you see that Hail Mary Jalen Hurts threw
Which time?
I just
in the Super Bowl? That shit was trash.
Yeah. But
That was
but in his defense, like
It went-
you
it
look
went
at Hurts,
25
look at Hurts rookie season, and then the next year, like his arm
I
talent
do-
kept developing. You know what I mean?
I do
I think
wanna
AR
argue
would do the
against-
same, but be better.
I do want to argue against that though, because I think it evens out. Because if you look at where Jalen Hurts came from, he came from Alabama. He
Right.
played a lot of games at Alabama, went to OU, and played a lot of games there as well, which AR
Sure.
did not do. So I think this
Right.
can kind of even out to where we'll see that we could possibly see that same kind of trajectory where we're going from 8-9 to seeing him develop better as a passer. And then this offense just being able to completely take off to where if we were to add like a rookie, like a Marvin Harrison Jr., similar to what they did with AJ Brown,
Then
to
we
where
go
we could
crazy.
see this offense take off. So I wouldn't expect us to jump too far. I do, like me
Nope.
personally, I think even though AR hasn't played a lot of games, I think his mechanical issues with footwork is different than Jalen Hurts was with arm work, which I think, I think it really just evens out. It's tough to
It's
say.
all
that
a work in
in
progress.
other, I just think it'll kind of even out to what we
Yeah.
can see. Very
I'm just
soon.
saying that
What-
ceiling, right? Because like
what-
tomorrow, dude, if AR throws for 160 yards and a touchdown tomorrow, I'm calling that a massive win. But like 2 years from now, I expect him to be going off like all the top QBs in the league. You know what I mean?
If he throws for 160, I need 100 yards rushing. I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I think his rushing
Okay.
is expected. Like I think
Okay.
he's going to go off running.
if he
regardless.
gives me a
I'm
cup
talking
of
strictly
Joe on the
passing.
ground, and then he gives me if he gives me a buck on the ground and then a $150 in the air, and like
It's
three
amazing.
combined touchdowns.
We're
So
talking
either
rookie of the year.
two
bro.
rushing or a passing, or a rushing and a passing. That's success to me. Like
That's what I want to
What
see.
I
tomorrow the Colts can come out and run the wishbone for all I care. As long as AR looks good, I'm not even mad about it.
What I don't want to see is him feel the need to force things, to
Yeah,
try to be like, make a name for himself early, like first drive, try to throw it deep and throw an interception, or
Yeah.
try and force a pass that he knows he can't make that throw yet, because he's still got development to make. That's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see him try and have to do something that he's not comfortable doing just because now he's in the NFL and he doesn't want to have, media talking about him on Monday morning on Good Morning Football, and they're like, "Oh, did you see AR? He made these terrible throws and all this stuff." I don't want to
level-headed.
Yeah, just play the game, your game. Play your game. Who cares?
He's got the instincts, man. Like he can just let it come, because with this defense, you're going to get openings. Just take the openings they give you. Don't try to force it. There's no need. Just let it happen.
Like don't worry about what goddamn Stephen A. Smith is gonna bitch about. Don't care about what Skip Bayless is gonna bitch about. Don't care what Kyle Brandt says or Peter Schrader, whatever those dudes. Don't care about any of those guys. Just play your game. Yeah. Play your game.
Don't let anybody touch you.
Yeah, don't play Jacksonville's game. Play your game. If AR plays his game, we could easily win.
I think the best part about that, I think he doesn't listen to any of those guys.
He does his own thing.
He's a smart kid, dude. He's a smart kid.
He asked Manning, "Hey, you got any advice?" And Manning said, "Do you play your game? Take what the defense gives you." And AR's going to.
Which he did all preseason.
Do not feel the need to sit in the pocket and throw the ball. We know you're not a pocket passer. Everybody knows it.
It's all good.
We know what you weren't drafted to be changed.
No,
you were not.
We want what you got.
You were drafted to show what you got.
Yeah, be you. That's what you were drafted for.
It's his team, dude. Run with it.
That's also the best part of what I've seen from him at Florida as well. He's not like he'll sit in the pocket, look, see, I don't see it, I'm gone.
That's a preseason game.
If you throw 55 completion percentage or 52 completion percentage your first month of
winning 8 games.
Career, I don't care.
Yeah, we're good.
If he completes 58% of his passes, we're winning 8 games.
Because the way I see it, if you're a mobile quarterback, I don't care what your completion percentage is, because what you make up for.
I care less. I care less. Yeah.
You could like Lamar says, like Lamar was saying before, you call me a running back all you want. I'm winning games.
I'm still plus your defense.
I'm pretty good for a running back, huh?
Yeah, I'm still MVP.
His legs make up for 74% completion percentage and 4 touchdowns, 350-yard games that Manning used to have. His legs can afford him to be 200 yards passing and 100 yards rushing. Easy.
And defenses have no idea what to do with him. And that, I think AR is going to fill that same type of role where they don't know how to plan for him, because he can throw 200, but he can also run 200. Like,
you want a hug?
You got to be ready for him.
I know it's a little late that we got to this comment, but real quick here, Nick was saying, what was your thoughts on rookie receiver Josh Downs? And let's also just add the receiving core to that as well.
Core total, I'm worried about depth. I'm worried about somebody getting hurt. Like, I actually like the guys that we have.
You saw that we brought up Winfrey, right?
Yeah, I've seen that. But I'm still just worried overall. Like, we're at what, 5 guys now?
Yeah.
5 wide receivers on the roster. So I'm a little worried about if someone goes down, but we haven't had too much trouble with that, so I'm not going to stress about it.
I don't think we're going to throw a lot anyway.
Yeah, I think overall I'm okay with the guys we have. I just need him to step up. But I'm excited about Downs, dude, especially because he's listed as the starting slot receiver right now. That means he's been showing something in camp and in practice. So I'm excited about his potential.
He's the only one that really
Matt said we're not good. Matt says he doesn't think we're going to throw a lot. I had this debate with somebody because I was talking about the balance, and I was like, if we're more on the running side, that means
don't be surprised.
Probably winning this game.
Yeah, don't be surprised.
Go ahead, Zach. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
If they throw the ball, it's going to be RPOs, open, easy.
MPJ
getting AR on the move and wide open, easy stuff.
I think MPJ is going to be targeted at least 13 times tomorrow, and it's going to be an average of 7.2 yards per catch.
Right.
I don't think he's going to have all those catches. I think he's going to have maybe 6.
I would say I do question those yards per attempt, though, because Shane did say that yards per attempt were a big thing, a part of the offense, because he said he wants our offense to be explosive. So I'd look more like, I'd say more 8.3.
I would think. I mean, that's good too. I was just thinking RPO. Typically, that yards per attempt is usually around that 7.2, 7.3. Yeah. If it's 8.3, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's real good, because we're obviously going to average over 4.2 yards a carry. So that's a first down pretty much every time on offense.
I like Downs. Downs is cool. Michael Pittman Jr. is solid. But yeah, I think we're going to run the ball. It's going to be a 2-to-1 run ratio. You're going to see heavy run game. And then me personally, I think it wouldn't surprise me to see them take tons of deep shots.
As long as the run ratio, as long as the run ratio is not 2-to-1, speaking of downs, right? So like first, second down to third. If that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like Frank likes to do. If it's as long as that's mixed up, right? Because
Right.
that drives me
You're
nuts.
basically saying 1st and 10, we get 1
Run.
yard.
Yeah,
You
first
get
and 10.
Right.
Second and 9.
second
You
and
get
9,
2
you
or
Yeah.
get
3.
2. You
Right.
get 3rd and 7.
Now you got to
Punt.
throw the ball.
Right.
Now you
No,
have
to- Yeah, now you
I
gotta throw the ball.
fully. It wouldn't shock me to see Indianapolis come out and be hyper aggressive. Hey, we're throwing it deep.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
I would. I think it'd
Not
be
first
just
round?
because it's
Not
different.
first up. That's exactly what I was saying earlier of what I don't want right away, because that's going to put AR in a situation. If AR throws an interception early, I'm worried.
I'm not.
So I get what you're saying, Matt. But the only reason I agree to Zach's point is because I feel like with this team coming in and what we saw from Matt Ryan last year, just like we saw in the preseason,
Right.
everybody was sacking Matt Ryan. I feel like what Zach is saying, or like why I'm agreeing with what Zach is saying, is you immediately want to come into the season and tell every defense back the
Right.
fuck off.
Right.
We're gonna put you on your heels first.
You
What
can't
I hated
put
about
eight in the
Frank-
box versus us.
But
Yeah,
I think-
exactly. And I thought
I
felt like Frank always reacted to every defense
Yeah.
to what they were doing to his offense,
Let them
rather
close
than
them.
making the offense set the tone.
Do you know what defense they ran against us last year?
Shane wants to be aggressive.
I'm pretty
4-6.
sure
It was
they
a 4-6.
4-6 with that soft cover too, right?
4-6 every game.
Yeah.
Every single team we played even said it. They switched to a 4-6 defense to play against us last year
And killed
And
us.
they run that stunt because we
Yep.
couldn't fucking block it.
because we couldn't
So
stop it.
I fully expect Shane just to be aggressive. However aggressive that is, whatever that be, I fully expect Shane to come out and be aggressive. Whether it's an aggressive downhill running game that attacks the edges and forces your over defender to, he's always wrong, so he picks I'm going with the running back gone, or I'm taking the quarterback pitches of the running back, whatever it might be.
So I'm big on aggressive passing, right? I love aggressive passing. I would love to see them start off with a deep shot. But the only reason I'm concerned is because of how young AR is, right? Like, I agree with the run. I would definitely go with that in this situation with AR, and how young he is. I would definitely go with the aggressive run on the edges. You have to attack the edges. We cannot attack just the middle.
Yeah.
Because that's what, I mean, you can, because if you attack the middle, then they attack the middle. And if they attack the middle,
Then you
they
take
are
the
on the edge. So, I mean, either way, as long as you're aggressive with it. The only reason I'm worried about the aggressive in the passing is because I want AR to get into a rhythm. Everybody already knows that his accuracy is a little bit of a concern. But if you get this guy on rhythm throws all day, which is what he struggles on to begin with, you get him on these rhythm throws for the first couple not like the first couple drives, but like the first couple downs, first couple sets. So you get, 1-2 rhythm throw, run the ball, another 1-2 rhythm throw, run the ball, and then deep shot, right? Get him in that rhythm so he's feeling that confident.
Right.
So just like you just say, you don't want to run up the middle the entire time. And then you don't want to rattle the rookie on a first drive, taking that deep shot. And obviously it could be a risk, throwing an interception. So my thing is like, if I asked you guys this question and said, what do you think Jacksonville's game plan would be to stop this Indianapolis Colts offense?
They're blitzing. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna be sending Josh Allen big time. Mainly because
you mean on passes, right?
Yeah, I think what they're gonna want to get him rattled early. They're not gonna sit back.
Oh,
Okay, so how about to defend? So
They're
how
not
about
gonna
to
sit
defend?
back.
So how about to defend the run?
To defend the run,
Yeah,
I think you're going to see Jacksonville
They're gonna
play a
have
lot
to-
of cover 3.
they're gonna play safe.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna play a vanilla defense, dude. Because if you play a vanilla defense against a rookie quarterback, you're just giving him a chance to get
Bro,
in the
you're
rhythm.
proceeding
Yeah.
with caution because of AR's legs.
But you can't do that in the passing game. You can't against
see-
a rookie.
But I'll
see,
give
that's
everything
what
short before I
so-
give everything deep.
And so this is why I think
I
that
agree.
game plan that Zach was talking about would make sense, because if I'm thinking a game plan for this offense, right?
I'm just
We obviously
corking
know,
it deep.
yeah, exactly. We obviously know AR has the big deep arm. So right, to Matt's point, we said I would play cover 3 because you want to stop
His best
the deep passes. And then at the same time, that RPO game is coming, right? And what's going to hurt you the most with the quarterback can run? The quarterback read, that sneak that he can do, because the running
Right.
backs could probably get 4. So what I would do is that game planner, I'm going to have my ends. I'm telling them every single time we see a RPO, we're crashing to the quarterback. If I catch you crashing to a running back, I'm taking you out of the game. and we're not giving up anything deep. So
you don't
my
do that
thing
to
is
both.
to what.
You don't have to do that to both. So, but I see what you're saying.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, like, on the back end, obviously they're going to come up if he pulls, but I'm saying that's the way that we would defend this offense, and obviously that's going to leave you very vulnerable to the middle of the field.
Have you ever watched Tyquan Lewis play on the
Jacksonville?
edge? Hold on.
Yeah.
Tyquan Lewis does it perfectly. This is why I love Tyquan Lewis so much, and I wish I could put a highlight up and show you, but I don't want to get us in trouble on YouTube anymore. The way Tyquan Lewis does it is you have to look up some of these plays that he does, because when he crashes at the perfect angle where he's crashing the running back and the quarterback at the same time. So if you don't hand that ball off, you're not getting past Tyquan Lewis. If you do hand that ball off, you're getting tackled from behind by Tyquan Lewis.
Yeah.
This is why I always love Tyquan Lewis so much, because of the way he crashes those RPOs. And then when they do those play action rollouts, he knows when to sit. I think he's our sleeper on defense. That's just me, but
he's a smart.
I just love the way he plays it. Yeah.
Well, that's the best part is that the Jacksonville Jaguars don't have a Tyquan Lewis, so their boy, who did they draft?
Trayvon Walker.
Walker.
6 of their 7 linebackers they drafted.
Better be ready to play. But like my whole point to that is, though, Matt, is if we look exactly what Gregory Rousseau did in the preseason when Anthony Richardson pulled it, and it was a bad read to pull it, and because he defended both lanes very well, AR still stiff armed
because he's big
and picked up 5 yards. So
right.
That's my thing is like, if you're defending this, you have to crash to the quarterback every single time and be full on commit. And if Anthony Richardson can make these passes, these reads to pull and hand off as well as he can, I think this is just going to be very hard to defend, especially if we get Jonathan Taylor back. So that's just one of those things where, like Zach said, is like, I'm going to make you back off your defense, because if you don't, we're going to beat you deep. I'm going to trust Pittman on a 50-50 ball. I'm going to see if you can keep up with Alec Pierce on his back shoulder fade that I can throw, or a deep route. And if you're going to back off in coverage, I'm going to run the ball down your throat. And guess what? You can't stop my running game for 4 yards, and you can't stop my quarterback. So that's why I say I would go with Zach on.
I just don't want to take a deep shot too early as like being one of the first 3 plays he makes.
No, first play of the game, I'm uncorking it, bro.
I would say I want to see.
I wouldn't do first play, but
first play.
If we're doing
I'm saying in that first series.
Yeah, so
first play,
I'm not doing the first
play action pass over the top.
No, I'm not doing a first series, because AR is one of those guys that needs to get into his rhythm. You got to get him comfortable first, man.
Yeah, what I want to see early is just a whole lot of option. I need them to respect his legs like early on in the game, because then we can open things up for us. And I think that. No, but that's what I'm saying. Do it early. Make them respect us early. And
you know what's funny? We're debating on whether we should uncork it early because we want them to back off, right?
Yeah.
But then half of us are saying, the other 2 of us are saying, well, maybe we should run it to make them come forward. Because in my opinion, hold on. In my opinion, both with AR would work.
Either works.
Either way works. It's doing the same thing.
We're in a good spot.
Yeah,
we're in a good spot.
It's doing the same thing, just in reverse.
And that's why I think like this offense is child's play, but at the same time, it's hard to defend it either way.
Right.
This is a Madden style offense.
If I'm Jacksonville, I'm saying, like, look, you guys couldn't pass the ball last year. Anthony Richardson obviously struggled with the completion percentage. I'm going to crash down on your offense until you force me to defend that passing game.
Right.
So
I'm just
that's
not
why
throwing
I'm thinking
20 yards.
Yeah, no, I get you. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I run the ball, give me a dive, then give me an RPO. We want to be at like 3-2 in our first drive. We get a first down. That next first down, just like Zach said, I'm uncorking. And if you don't back off,
if it's not there, throw it away. If it's not there, throw it away. But throw it away in a way that shows your
that you better back off. Yeah.
My next question.
Send it to the nosebleeds.
That's going to be on AR at that point.
Yeah. Don't throw it. Don't throw it 7 yards out of bounds. Right. Like half these quarterbacks.
You want that. You want 45 yards 57 yards downfield out of bounds.
My next question is,
hey, I'm coming.
You see DBs looking at their coach like,
dude,
I'm not that fast.
You gotta back up.
We talk about this first. Go ahead, Zach.
Do you think that Shane is anticipating all of this, and he says, "I'm throwing it all out the window. We're throwing it just to completely mess with Jacksonville."
No,
And
I think he's
Shane,
got a heavy plan.
Yeah, I think Shane already has 24 plays picked out.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think too. Like, there's a lot of pressure on Shane. Like, this is his debut.
Is his first game.
We've talked AR. I mean, this is Shane's first game.
If this was a guy,
if this
was a guy like Mike Tomlin as our head coach, yeah, sure, Mike Tomlin's probably launching it first play.
He's gonna play Mike.
He's not a rookie,
man. I would. I'm literally. My thing is, hey, you're my ride or die AR. I don't care if you throw a pick on this, bro. We're corking it. All goes, man. You want to know all 9 routes.
And then here's the thing,
just
too.
Straight up
on the opposite side of what me and Trev just said, with it being Shane's first game, he could be saying, "I ain't playing fucking games."
Right?
Yeah. Y'all thought we were just going to be run team.
That's what I mean. Do you think
now you got to respect us?
I'm uncorking it because it's my squad.
So Zach,
we're going to be hyper aggressive.
To your point, I think you could be right with that because of the fact that Shane could do that. I think the point that Matt was making is that what we've seen over the years typically of what young quarterbacks do is you rattle their confidence once they have turnovers. And so that's why Matt is saying, hey, I want this guy, to throw some deep balls, but I don't want his first play to be an interception to where he has to question himself on every throw for the rest of the game, which rookie quarterbacks do, no matter how confident they are.
But then to argue against me, AR's first series in preseason was an interception. It was like his second throw, and he came back and still played against first-team defense and actually picked them apart the rest of the time.
That's why I just asked, do you think that he's just hyper-aggressive and say, hey, they're going to force us to throw anyway, so I'm going to dice them up? Just because I can.
I would love it. I would love it, to be completely honest. That'd be freaking great.
To that answer, do I think we won 4 games last year?
Right. So why not?
like Ballard said, everything is on the table, bro. We won 4 games last year. I think we could do it. We could come out with a triple option reverse pass for all I give a damn on the first play of the game. What do we have to lose?
Bro,
we won 4 games.
We could line up in a fake punt on the first play. Who
gives a damn?
Yeah,
who cares?
Who knows?
So
Chuck Pagano's playbook.
Don't be scared. So I literally just want. I don't care what it is.
When I hear Shane talk, I don't hear a sense of fear. I really don't like, and I don't want to say it just because he's my coach. I can tell you now that Frank was like more repetitive with everything. Right. When I hear Shane talk, I hear somebody with confidence, with a demeanor, with strategic planning and preparation. Like, I do not hear fear in this man. So that's why I'm saying I look forward to seeing how he coaches and carries himself on the sideline, just because I haven't seen a lick of fear or doubt. From the moment he came into the building.
I want to see them open it up. I want to see them say, hey, everything's on the table. If they give you this look, check. Yeah. Go for it. If you throw a pick, it don't matter. We don't care. We'll go out and get them next drive. We got him exactly where we want him. That's what I want. I literally want him to just game 1, play 1. Whole playbook's yours, bro. Check in, check out, make it happen.
What I really want to see, and what I think we'll have success doing, is I think what they're counting on is Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen just collapsing in on us, right, and crashing that quarterback like we've been talking about. Both of these guys are athletic. Neither one of them is quicker than they are, right? So what I'm thinking is, fucking let them come, dude. Let them get in there. AR is going to leave their ankles on the field, and then from that point, the play is wide open. So I think they're going to be aggressive in pursuit early, but I think AR is quicker than either of those guys. I think he's smarter. And our scheme is smarter than just see ball, get ball that they're going to send, right? So I'm really – that's why I was saying I want to see these options and these running from AR early, because I think he's going to leave these guys looking foolish, and then from there, everything's open. Because now they can't just crash on us.
What I'm really worried about is that we're having this conversation, and it's making me hyped up and ready for tomorrow, and then we have a fucking 3 and out.
Now I'm starting to think we can win, bro.
Then we have a fucking 3 and out, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, speaking of it,
stuck again.
Speaking of it, we're almost at the 2 point. You guys ready to predict this thing for week 1? I know we didn't get Damon's before he got out of here. I'll text him.
We should have.
We want to get into a prediction. But let's go ahead and get that going.
I got us losing Jacksonville 24-17.
All right, I got Jacksonville, but I think it's a competitive game, and I think at some point we lead the game. I have them beating us 27 to like 23. I think our high-paid kicker gets a couple field goals in there.
I'm going to be the oddball. I'm going to go ahead and pick us to win. I think there's too much unknown. Jacksonville has no idea how to play us.
That very well could be the case.
I think Doug Peterson.
How do they prepare?
I think Doug Peterson doesn't know what to prepare for. I think
He said Anthony Richardson is Cam Newton.
I think this is Gus Bradley's third game against Trevor Lawrence, and I think with Shaq back, I'm going defensively, and I think we win 24-21.
Yeah. So I almost wanted to say this in locks, but I just took it back because I didn't want to give it away too early. But I got the Jags or the Colts winning. I got the Colts upsetting the Jags. I had a trash talk group and somebody had mentioned something about it or whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? And as I started looking at the matchups and everything that we discussed today, I got the Colts winning in opening day. The Colts haven't lost to the Jags at home since 2017. I got us winning this game.
Actually starting 1-0 for the first time in God knows how long.
And the Shane Steichen error.
Dude, yeah, I think this is more of a interesting game that people are going to give it credit for because
Christina's taking the Jags.
Like, they don't know how to prepare for us, like Matt said, but also the only reason I can't pick us is because of my concerns about the DBs and because Trevor Lawrence is really good at just taking what's open. And we saw last year his release was so much quicker than his rookie season. So that's why I'm a little concerned that he's just going to like start piecing us up and just moving downfield pretty quickly, pretty efficiently. So that's my concern there. But I think they don't have answers for us defensively because they don't know what we're coming with yet. Nobody does. We don't know. So I think it's more of an interesting game than people are giving it credit for so far. I think it should be a real competitive matchup.
Hey, kickoff is what? 1 p.m.?
Yeah.
Yep. I will already be awake, ready to roll, laundry done. I'm ready for the game. Woo!
I'll be at work watching the game.
Oh, that sucks, bro. Fuck work. I'm on 4-day right now, baby. I'm gonna be kicking
7
back,
days
and watching.
I got to get off here and go to sleep.
Yeah, man.
All right, y'all. I'm getting off here. Go Colts.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
see y'all next week.
Week 1, baby. We're
All right,
here.
everybody. See everybody. Appreciate everybody coming out.
Hey, be prepared, Zach. If we win, overreaction Monday.
Yeah,
Overreaction.
crazy. We're going crazy.
It's going to happen.
Hey, thank you everybody for listening, man. We always appreciate y'all.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. See y'all tomorrow for kickoff.
Go Colts. We finally here, baby.
We're here. Let's go.
Go.
He is going to drop the throw. Fires deep along the right sideline for Alec Pierce. He's got it. Touchdown! Touchdown! Alec Pierce spikes it into the